Hello, everyone, and welcome to session 32 of Aneria, the Shattered Realm.
Are we doing that again?
Is that the new thing? Is we're all going to just
The
be...
Shattered Party.
I don't have the... I'm sorry, I don't have the lightning
I'm going to
up
just buy a bunch of plates from Goodwill and just be like, the Shattered Realm.
every time.
That sounds fun.
Do you really think that would break on your carpet?
Probably not.
No? Okay. It would just bounce. The bouncy realm.
I'll bring a bunch of rocks and bricks and
Oh my gosh, there needs to be a realm that is all like bouncy.
bounce houses.
Bounce
It's
house
like a
stuff,
bouncy
yeah.
castle.
Okay, I'll write it down. But welcome back, everybody.
That's where all the plasmoids live.
Yes. Welcome back. We are happy to be back tonight. And we've got all of our wonderful snacks that everybody always loves to see all the time.
The best invisible one.
Yep. Oh, no, delicious. That's the
That's from-
multicolored
I was gonna
ones.
say it's from Hook.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Don't.
Come on.
Rufio.
My wife and I break imaginary eggs on each other all the time. You know, you do the little like,
This is called
Yeah.
farting.
yeah.
No.
Touche.
That makes it sound like we're doing weirder things than I was saying, but not that much weirder. Like just a little
Hey,
bit.
let me tell you, the walls are not that soundproof, okay?
You hear every toot. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are so happy to be back. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if this is the kind of content that you
Why
enjoy.
was everyone relieved when the Pharaoh of Egypt died? Because it was smelly, because tooting was common.
He's full of them.
Do you have an epic die to give
Not
up?
jokes.
You go. I'll give up a die for that.
No, it's fine. Everybody gets one.
No. All right. It was bad.
It was pretty bad.
Executive decision from the group.
Yep, I agree with the decision.
Everyone
yeah.
take one level of exhaustion.
If this is the kind of content that you like to see, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, Toll the Dead down at the bottom there so that you can get notified as soon as this comes out. And if this is the type of content that you like to see early, join our Patreon. $5 a month. You get these episodes released 2 days early, plus you get some extra bonus content. We've got some spicy things coming soon for you. Don't just you wait.
You
Spicy
careless with
things?
Yes. Well, not like
Not
spicy, but like
just spicy.
just like ooh, exciting, like hot off the presses, you know, kind of things. Not like I'm
wouldn't call
not
that
showing
spicy.
anything. Did you see Bosco in our Patreon chat who shared Bolt's OnlyFans?
Yes. So funny.
Everybody got to see
Yeah.
Bolt's bolt hole, so you know.
That's funny.
If you want to see that, you got to join and experience our wonderful Patreon chat on Discord.
Private Discord.
Yep. And then don't forget to...
Like Syrinscape.
Yeah,
Don't-
Syrinscape.
We like it. You don't have to like that, but sponsor. Not
Your
sponsor.
brain was broken.
I did, yeah. Just I was a tea kettle. You had to move me off there, and nobody did. But you know the cow by now. Don't forget to go check out Syrinscape for all of your fun little adventuring needs, as far as it goes for like DMing, because we love them. We
We'll
use
even
them all
write
the
your
time.
game for you
No,
and play it for
nope. I mean, they're not sponsored, so we can say
you.
whatever
Corey's
the hell we
literally,
want.
it's just telling him what to say right now.
It's true.
We're actually an AI construct.
And then,
All
of
of
course, we also
Can't you tell? Sorry, a glitch.
we also stream on Twitch and YouTube.
Junior.
Speaking of twitching, at 7 p.m. on Fridays. So don't forget to join us there, where we get to do some wonderful art, some wonderful painting. Last time we made, his name was Gorge Washington, the McMimic. So go check that one out.
Gorge.
Yep.
Gorge.
He looks.
Did you see the
great.
pictures?
Yes.
Go on to.
It looks fantastic.
That was our stream watchers. I was like, what color of flash? And they're like, yellow.
Yellow, mustard yellow.
I'm like, okay.
And you can get in on that
Jump on
action.
to be a viewer more
Yeah,
often.
and those show up on the game all the time. So if you want to have something that you helped decide the paint colors for show up, maybe one of Fred's brothers will have the colors that you imagined him with. Who
Colors
knows?
of the wind.
It's true.
But I think without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into tonight's game. Last time the party got together, regrouped, Bolt was resurrected, thanks to the help of Madame Talvain and...
I rebooted.
Sound for that?
Someone control deleted me.
No, I don't have a sound
You
for
read
Don't
that.
have a reboot
Booted?
noise.
I have to get that.
It's the sound. It's the sound of a dot matrix printer,
It's not like a Dell turning on.
or it's the 56K
Hello?
modem sound. The best part of the sound,
Not because it's Adele instead of.
I know.
Yeah.
I thought the best part of the sound was your mom, like when she gets on the phone, she's like, "Hold on, the video, coming through your modem."
Everybody gets an epic die for my bad pun. I'm so sorry about that one.
We earned it back.
But you are in a new body now,
yeah,
at least temporarily, while you try and figure out why you cannot connect your soul core back to your old body.
This
Mechanically, I'm
body doesn't
still,
know the trouble the other one saw.
Mechanically, I'm still Warforged.
Malfunction.
Yes. But you are no longer the special kind of construct that you were before.
Been assimilated.
You're not
I've
special.
I've never been special.
You also learned that Aramis was trapped by Zolos, or not trapped, but under his service in his afterlife. But luckily, Victor, with the help of Zolos' brother, who is apparently the god of bards or something like that.
I like him already.
Which
So do I.
It's the same spelling as Zolos, only backwards. So it's Zolos.
No,
Orthias.
it's Orthias. I wasn't going to do that. I do that too much.
It's
I'm not
Zolos
going
and
to do it
Zolos.
again. Yeah.
Solox.
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 That sounds like a pill that I need to take for my
Take Solox.
for my anxiety.
Right. Too close to Zoloft.
Common side effects may include
being trapped in an eternal hell.
Being trapped in internal hell.
But
Internal bleeding.
thankfully, Orthias and Victor were able to free Aramis's spirit, and he went off to the afterlife, and we said goodbye to him in-game and to Dallin outside of game, who has stepped away from the table temporarily. If you weren't here for that episode, this one won't make any sense to you unless you go back and watch all of them. So you
should be watching
You
it
should be
anyway.
watching them. Now, it's the next morning.
And also,
and
might I add,
Yeah,
that episode, if you haven't watched up to this point, it had some great little recaps
it truly
By
does.
Bulls.
Yes. Mhm.
explaining to the dragon
Yeah.
what we'd been up to.
Exactly.
Yes.
12 hours of recaps.
This is the whole series once again, just
This
from
is
Bolt's
your-
perspective this time.
This is Bolt's retelling.
Honestly, God, part of me would love to have each of you write up a summary of the season 1 of the campaign from what you remember, just so I could see like what's important to you. Like what was the like main important pieces that they were like, oh yeah, I loved this part. I'm not gonna make you do it. Don't worry. I'm not,
No, we should. That'd be really interesting.
Yeah, maybe that'll be like a Patreon content where I go through these and be
I'll
like,
just go through and give you
Why
my
does-
notes. Here you go.
why does nobody remember Kes? He was very important to the story.
Yes.
But it is. That's a.
That's Preston's character.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. That's right.
But it is the next morning.
Can we take a long rest?
You can indeed take a long rest.
Hey, I'm only at -2 now.
Hey.
That's right, because you tricked a long rest out of me when talking with the dragon. I remember
It was
that.
very restful. Just chatting.
Technically, you should be able to take a long rest within 24 hours, but I'm going to allow this.
Thank you.
But it is the next morning. The sun.
You're such a gracious DM when you're not killing everyone.
Isn't it great?
Yeah.
I am a very generous god.
I mean, I
When
sleep
you're
at
not
night
going
and then I
out.
take a 4-hour nap. That's a long rest, right?
Mhm.
Basically. So I'm Elvin.
The sun, the Davrosian sun rises over not an area. You're on Arkonis right now.
Arkonis, yeah.
Yep. Sorry, they both have A names, and I did that to myself. And
All the Shadow Realms, right?
wouldn't that be hilarious?
Except for
And
the last one. It starts with X.
That gives me a headache.
none of the buildings in Aldros are really big enough to cast a shadow as the sun starts to rise, so it hits the docks pretty early and floods in through the windows on everyone who probably spent the night having a good wake for Aramis, enjoying a little bit of drinking, enjoying a little bit of storytelling, that sort of thing.
My head is killing me.
I'm going to sit up and stand up out of bed and turn around and look at
Where's
my
the
old
lark?
body laying in the bed as well that I was laying on and go, this is not comfortable, and I'm going to drag it off and put it in the corner.
Do you like stand it up or pose it?
No,
or
it's just going to be like sitting
just
in the
like slumped in the
Yeah.
corner. Okay. Yeah, definitely not comfortable the way in your old body.
Oh, my sore. Oh, right. Squishy.
Yeah.
Squishy.
Not quite human, but for some reason
Squishy bodies.
human enough.
At least the
Yeah.
first hour of waking up, you have this weird deformity in your back where it, like it's
It's the imprint of Old Bolt's face.
Onto the back of your head.
Yeah. So I can walk backwards or forwards and no one will know. Yeah, I'll head out and just kind of walk down to your guys' thing and just kind of knock on the door and good morning, Fred, Victor. Breakfast will be ready in half an hour. And I'm going to go to the galley and start cooking up some food.
Okay.
Wow.
The animated cutlery stands to attention as you enter in, and you can start directing them to go to certain places and
Yeah,
assist you.
I'll tell them to like start laying out the table, but then I'll also like I'm gonna cook a full on like continental breakfast for everyone
Wow.
because I want
Which continent?
Aneria, of
Okay,
course.
All right, just making sure.
What is
I don't know Arkonis. What do they eat?
Lunaberry.
It's Lunaberry everything.
Yes,
that's the
all
only
Lunaberries.
food that's been established in the area is Lunaberries.
I'll have one rock hopper,
Rockhead Jocker.
Rockhead Jocker
Yes.
cooked up, but that's it. But I want to try out all the these fresh new taste buds.
Okay. That's right, because your taste buds are not only back, but they are better than ever.
They're empowered.
Yes.
I get advantage on tasting.
But did we ever discover what happens to everything that you eat? Fred
Oh.
is still interested.
Nothing's come out, but you don't look
just
any
eating, like-
bigger.
Am I glowing?
That is a food baby if I ever saw one.
You really aren't sure what is happening to it at all.
He's our own personal
That's a,
magic generator.
That is a problem for future Bolt.
Bolt,
dear.
Bolt eats food and then he becomes like dragon-like and generates
Yes.
a little magic aura around
No, I
him.
just start vibrating. Split into two. Just my toes.
Oh no, what have I done?
Don't feed him after midnight.
Yep.
Yes, eat more.
Or get 'em
Fred
wet.
will build her army that way.
Fred, has we gotten him wet yet? Like, dump a bucket of water on him.
Yeah, I was the one that.
You were water walking. That means you didn't
There
get
was
wet
some
at all.
splashing.
No, sorry.
Your feet are
I'm gonna say
hydrophobic.
that water walking means that you don't get wet.
I'm
Well,
totally hydrophobic. Yeah.
Morbid will actually stumble into the galley, your little gnome companion.
And I'll. Morbid, good morning.
He just kind of gives you a groan, and he walks
like-
over to like one of the stoves, and as he like takes a step, one of his little like construct turrets comes over and catches his foot and lifts him up, and he puts a coffee pot down on the stove and turns it on and just like stands there with his eyes like half closed.
Take a seat, I'll bring it out to you.
And he'll just like turn, and his turret will like walk him over and then just like dump him into the seat. He very much is not awake.
Not a morning person.
Not a morning person. John, however, is very much a morning person. And he comes in and he goes, just stopping by, and he grabs like a piece of toast that you've already got finished and puts in his mouth, and then
John, sit down.
I was gonna go sweep the deck.
You can sleep the deck after. You need
He puts the toast back, and then
Take the toast.
oh, okay.
So it's the poop deck, right?
I don't know if this ship has a poop deck.
We're all in agreement.
What
The
does it mean?
dragons-
Let's look it up.
Do dragons poop like birds do? Because
No,
that's what he's cleaning up, right?
Yeah, but they go. Crash.
yeah, it destroys half the ship.
The short high deck of a
Yes,
ship.
please tell me what a poop deck.
Sorry.
You're reading it.
I just took
In naval architecture, a poop deck is a deck that forms the roof of a cabin built in the rear or aft part of the substructure of a ship. The name
So it's like
originates
above-
from the French word for stern.
Think about
La
where
poop.
the.
Poop deck.
From Latin, poopis.
Fun fact: that's also where the Tetons got their name.
Now I gotta
Crazy
look up
Frenchman.
poop in other languages.
Poopies. Sorry.
The poopy deck.
Totally mispronouncing all of those, I'm sure.
So it's just it's literally just the roof of the cabin.
French
Okay.
is very
Think about
much
like where
in
the
back of your
usually where the
throat.
wheel is on most pirate ships, right?
Yeah, so there is in fact a poop deck.
Excellent. Okay.
But I I'm afraid, as much as I'd like to yes and you, I'm going to have to no the dragons pooping like birds. However, there are rocks in Arkonis, so you better watch out.
Don't
And
park.
they poop rocks.
Park.
ROC are giant birds.
Thank you.
Eagles from.
Rocks
I'm like,
fall.
cool, there's
everywhere.
rocks. I don't get it.
There's rocks. I know it's always fun. It's always fun to talk about rocks to people who aren't aware of what I'm meaning.
And I watched this rock
Yeah.
fly over the mountain. What?
It smells amazing in here.
And I'm like, yes, it does. And I'm gonna like dish up, like I've full spread on the table, all the different pancakes, waffles, crepes, eggs, sausage, bacon, rockhead jockers. For some reason,
One rockhead jocker is probably enough. These are huge fish. They're bigger than tuna.
For
that
breakfast.
was off to the side, just in case.
John takes a bite. He doesn't know social norms.
I mean, some places serve salmon for breakfast.
The other day, I saw somebody make a
Lox.
tornado omelet, which they took like chopsticks as they were cooking the omelet,
like
and they
spun it?
twisted it and then put it on top of the thing. It was like, yeah, it was
My
really
favorite is when they
Slice
make it. It's like this big puffy thing, like this big, and then they slice it and like,
Over the
and
rice.
just like it looks like it just melts.
Then they
over-
put that little
it's over
umami
rice
sauce
usually,
over
right?
it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some of that too. If you weren't hungry, you are now.
Yeah.
Think about all the your favorite breakfast food. It's
Okay,
there.
everyone. I want to hear, for
Muff-
reals, what your
muffins,
favorite
bagels.
breakfast food is. Think
Crepes.
and tell me.
like a whole meal
No.
or just like a single food.
German
meal?
oven pancakes.
You could tell me a whole meal.
Okay.
We call them Popeye
Yes.
pancakes.
You could go full
Those are
George R. R.
delicious.
Martin if you want. Whole meal,
Yeah.
everything. Explain the whole thing.
Describe it. Let's see.
Yeah, I love eggs so much. And omelets are delicious, but probably my favorite breakfast is what did you call your German pancakes?
Popeye pancakes.
That's funny because we call these Popeye eggs or egg in
Really?
a, or toad in a hole.
Is it because they go?
No, but when you put a hole in your toast, gluten-free bread, crack your egg in it, cook it,
That's eggy in the basket.
That's
English,
a,
English.
egg in a basket, toad in a hole, Popeye eggs,
All
whatever
the
you
good
want to call it.
stuff.
It's all the
I
things.
am an omelet guy
So good.
with shredded hash browns,
Ooh, yeah, hash browns. Do you like them like crispy?
crispy shredded. Yeah. They gotta be cooked in like cast iron pan.
Yes.
you can't really go wrong
I
with
do
like
love like a McDonald's hash brown.
Way too salty, in my opinion.
It's okay.
I like that for you though.
You can't really go wrong with some classic buttermilk pancakes and some sausage links. I think for
Yeah,
me.
good stuff.
sausage.
Yeah.
That's
Tell us
good
in the
stuff.
chat below. Confuse everyone who hasn't seen the video up to this point.
Just
Yeah.
just your
What's
breakfast
What's your
food.
favorite breakfast
Yep.
food?
Don't put any explanation or anything. Just put down breakfast foods.
Put egg and bacon in the comments.
like yours
And we
is-
want, instead of interpretive dance, it's interpretive emojis.
Yeah.
I want to see.
We're adding these to Einor's cookbook eventually. That will be coming out. Look out for that Kickstarter coming soon.
Yes.
Morbent actually takes the entire pot of coffee when you set it down and just starts like pouring. And he actually has like an extendable cup, and it basically is the whole pot of coffee that he just puts in the cup and starts sipping it.
I'll make another one.
Thank you.
Not a morning person, are you, Morbid?
Not really.
I think right now we're all morning people.
Dad jokes.
Did you
all
figure
day
out
long.
that you're a person?
Actually, here they call them bolt jokes.
That's true.
That's true.
It's catching on.
Yes.
You had a big campaign
Uh-huh.
earlier.
Yes.
Not only were you trying to be their savior, you're also trying to be their
Every time somebody made a joke while she was helping out, she goes, "Oh, a bolt joke, huh?"
Puns are now called bolt jokes. Yes. Well, listen up. Aramis is gone. I'm not going to shed any more tears. Not that I did.
I didn't see anything.
I mean, I saw something.
Stop!
I saw nothing.
But listen. I would invite you, cordially, I would send a written invitation, if we weren't here in person, to join me.
Just spell it out with your
Sorry.
hash browns.
I imagine that Fred actually has these written invitations in her bag, and she's just like,
Oh,
she's like
You
handing
are
them.
cordially invited. No, she totally is now.
And it's like Fred's Quest, and when they open it, there's glitter, and you've got like pop outs of you like with a sword, you know.
And it plays like a little. It's like one of those cards that
Mine has a little.
and
Mine has a little
stop
tab.
until it
And,
dies.
Absolutely.
mine has a little tab like this, and it's you with the crown, like.
Yes. As you can see from your formal invitations, which I spent all night. She's like covered in like bits of glue and glitter. So I spent
One of
all
your
night
eye
creating.
stalks is like glued shut.
Completely shut. It keeps trying to use its beam to try and blast it, so every now and then there's just like a little flash.
The other one's got a feather glued to it, so every
Yeah.
time it closes, it's like a giant eyelash.
But here's what I've learned. In life, one has to face a huge assortment. I've been listening to Aida since we talked about that the other day. If you're feeling bad about things, a quest in killing things and rescuing people will turn your mood about, cheer you right up. So that is what we're going to do. We are going to save Ephira the Gentle. By the way, have you all come up with my moniker yet? No?
Fred the Whirlwind.
I hate it.
The dubious. I heard somebody else say it. Sorry. Is that
No.
right?
Queen Fred.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I like
That's
it.
not the anything. Fred the Queen, maybe.
But the Queen Fred sounds better. To me,
Queen
anyway.
Fred the Queen.
Queen Fred Queen? Queen?
I rather like
Princess
Formerly
Fred
known
the
as
Queen.
It says Fred the Queen.
Fred, formerly known as Queen.
like the
So-
singer, the group,
Maybe. I
Freddie
don't know.
Mercury,
Yeah, which exists in Aneria. Don't at me.
Vlad the
Siren. It's a group of
Impaler.
sirens. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the two famous members of Queen, Freddie Mercury and Vlad the Impaler.
Yes, as you know,
Yes.
dear friends of mine.
Mhm.
Anyhow, we are going to save Ephira the Gentle, or find her at least. Have to bring back proof of her body. And when we do, I will get my dragon army. Eventually. I'm proving my worth.
I mean, that sounds pretty cool.
And if we find any baby dragon eggs along the way, I can raise them to be my own, so I can be mother of dragons. It's my dream.
Well, if... is that kidnapping?
No.
I
I
guess
suppose
it's
I could
unborn, so
marry
maybe
someone and receive it as
It's more like
a
zygote
wedding
napping.
gift. That sounds like a lot of work.
Maybe there's some barbarian tribes out here.
That's what I'm saying.
There are, actually.
Do they have dragon eggs?
No, not that I know of, but there's a whole nation of barbarians. I've been doing some research into Arkonis since we got here.
Oh, and where are they located?
It's hold on. It's too early. I have the mental map in my head, but I can't quite remember where it is.
Take a drink of your coffee. real
Mostly
quick.
north, a little bit west. It's a nation called Svalsland.
Interesting.
Yes.
Is it any close to the Psyllium Peaks?
It's on the opposite side of the Alloy Alliance's land to the Syrian Peaks.
Interesting.
Oh, here, and he pulls out a map and he sets it down. So you now have another map of Arkonis, which let me send you this again, just because you might not have it.
Dankeschön, darling, Dankeschön.
So there is the Discord map. It's hopefully we've got it up on the screen for everybody else. If not, Cory's doing a bad job, and you should admonish him in the comments by telling him your favorite food. But basically,
breakfast food.
yeah, breakfast food. Basically, you guys are on the southernmost tip or southernmost end of Arkonis in the lands known as Ulzat Moai. And directly north is the Sylian Peaks. And if you want to just come around, you can actually, or Preston has it up over there as well. So Sylian Peaks is there in white. And Svalsland is actually the gold on the other side of
And where are we?
The light gold or the dark?
the light gold.
Are these down
Yep.
here, aren't we?
Oh, we've got quite a way to go.
Theocracy of the Stormborn?
No, the Svalsland, sorry, the darker gold. Yeah.
Okay.
Look at all this land we can conquer.
This
Excellent.
is, so as far as size goes,
Subjugate.
Aneria was about the size of of the United States, about 3,000 miles. Arkonis as a whole has about the same square foot as Asia, which is about 17,000 square miles.
So, Morbid, based on your brilliant little brain in there,
Yes.
how long do you think it would take us to travel from here to the Sileum Peaks?
I suppose it depends on how far in you're looking to go. Are we
Well,
looking...
let me tell you this. This Aphira the Gentle was last seen on the border between here
Mm-hmm.
and the Sileum Peaks.
Mm-hmm. And that is a long stretch of land, and he points out that the map is basically the lands of Ulzat Moai and the Alloy Alliance pretty much encircles the Sileum Peaks. So it depends on which border you're thinking of.
Well, I don't know. Apparently, this Aphira was...
Was she traveling to the Sileum Peaks?
Her caravan was attacked. Something about ice spikes? Does that mean anything to anyone?
Ice spikes.
Why did I write that down?
Well,
Ice spires?
perhaps the White Dragons were involved. They
Yeah.
had-
Oh, yes, they are.
Yeah. I think they
Yes, I think I'd like one of them, especially to be part of my army because they're rather vicious.
Who is this Aphira the Gentle, if you don't mind me asking?
She is the handmaiden for Basmahat.
Oh, the Gold Nation.
Yes. And her father is the Emperor's major domo,
I see.
which sounds rather important.
It is. It's the
Emperor
right hand.
Maritosk. Did I say that correctly?
You know, I'm not familiar with the Emperor's name, so we'll go ahead and say yes.
Okay.
Yes, I believe so. I don't really remember. It sounds right. Well, so
was she traveling from Basmahat to the peaks or to Aldros?
That's a wonderful question. Hold, please, while I ask the DM. DM.
Yes, Fred. Darling Fred.
Well, remind me.
Yes.
talking.
So,
I'm sure it's written in my written invitation.
So-
What is
technically-
happening? What is happening? I don't know what's going on.
oh, sorry.
She's talking to herself again.
While you didn't discuss
I'm in the
that
middle of a wisp.
specifically with the dragon in the episode, we will say that she was traveling. She basically had traveled to Shahar Kanzi, which is, if you look on the map again, Preston, if you pull that up here.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It is that in that Shahar Kanzi is on to your right.
It's the right star.
The right star, yep, right there. And from there, she was going to be making a round through towards Ha'atana, which is to the west of it. And that kind of, it's that kind of like temple-y building marked right.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so we can say maybe she's close by Jotani's bulwark.
Yeah, somewhere around that border is where she was captured.
So northeast from where we are.
Precisely. So, I relayed all this information to you.
Somehow
Unfreeze.
I remember you telling me this.
Do you now? Very good. So that's where we need to go. Now give me back your written invitations and I'll put them in your individual scrapbooks that I'm keeping.
Scrapable.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that you're probably looking about, if you're taking the airship at least, you're looking about maybe a week and a half to get there.
If we can get clearance too. They were pretty stingy about us flying.
Well, that would be something you'd want to speak with your contacts here for, if you have any.
Oh, I'm sure my BFF, Nyrod the Glimmering, Kachow, would gladly give us clearance. Clearance? Not clearance.
He would give us Clarence too. take my most trusted advisor, Clarence.
I hate him.
Is he any good with a sword?
No.
He
Spear?
bores me.
He's good with a joker to light up your smoke. That's about it.
Nice.
Well, did you give... So, who did you give an invitation to? Was it just to the two of them?
There's everyone at the table. to Morbid,
Mm-hmm.
Morbent,
Mm-hmm.
John Broomsman.
Okay.
That's all that's here, right?
Yeah, and the two of them, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mormon actually, he folds his up and he goes, as much as I appreciate the offer, I'm afraid that I think I will have to transfer over to the other airship to head back to Aneria soon here. I've completed my business and, well, to be honest, after seeing two hardened adventurers die on their first outing outside of a city here, I'm not looking forward to traveling in this area quite as much as I was when I first arrived.
Well, if you're concerned, it's not a normal thing for us.
I would assume not, but it's your first foray into this land, and it does not bode well for its safety.
Just imagine how dangerous it is trying to get home. It's probably twice as much without us. Whatever.
They at least have the cleric in case he dies.
That's fair.
Your friends over on the mnemonic response do seem very capable.
Well, you weren't invited anyway. That was given to you by accident. She rips it up. And this, she pulls his personalized scrapbook that she's been making for him. This wasn't for you anyway. And she yanks his copy out of his hand and dumps it all over the scrapbook.
My coffee.
my coffee.
He has no idea what he just did. My coffee.
Well, I do
Here you go.
apologize if
Quite
I upset you, Fred.
Oh, I'm not upset. I'm fine.
Right, of course.
If she was upset,
Freaked out, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. Got it.
As a parting gift, though, I did want to give you each one of these, and he pulls out another mana crystal, and he hands you each one.
I was actually going to ask if there's a way we could acquire a few of them.
Of course, I saved a few just for you as a thank you, a token of my appreciation, payment for travel, that sort of thing. Your assistance has been very lucrative in my business, and I would like to work with you in the future.
sounds good. If you want to sell anything else here, you
Here,
can come
I'll-
through the...
The ring. I don't know if I think I already got his.
I'm not sure either, but it's like a little turret.
Yeah,
Come through
like
the
one of those little spider
Favored Lodge
turrets.
Alliance. We are the official arbiters between nations, right? Since we have such high, patrons.
I would definitely say that you should encourage that relationship so that you may become the de facto envoys for the time being. Might not last forever, but it's a noble pursuit, and it could be quite good for the group as a whole.
Well, we wish you the best of luck on the way back.
Thank you very much.
Bolt wishes you the best of luck on the way back.
The Wayward Watch wishes you the best of luck on the way back.
Right.
Wayward Wanderer wishes you a nice trip back to the other ship.
I will go
Where
pack
did you
my
get
things
that
then.
gin?
No, it was left over from last night.
The breakfast gin.
Morbid walks away from the table feeling like
Confused.
feeling a little bit confused and a little bit upset for no reason that he can tell. He thought that you guys hated him
Because he looks back and we're all looking at the scrapbook.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. That's so fun. And he's just like,
What did I do? I've made a horrible mistake.
That's right. Let that FOMO sit in.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go swab the deck and make sure everything's clean for when we leave.
Very good, John. I knew we could count on you.
Right. Are you
we
expecting
can
me to go down there and help you fight dragons?
no, you can stay on the ship.
I mean, do you want to fight dragons?
No.
I don't want to fight them, John.
I don't even know.
I
what
want
a
to
dragon
rule
is.
them.
Well, I mean,
I would like to just talk to them.
We're starting a cult.
Yes.
Cult of Dragon. You're going to summon Tiamat. Is that what we're trying to do?
she's not called Tiamat on Aneria. Actually, there's a different mother of dragons.
No, Dallin named her. It was Chromatic Fivehead.
Chromatic
Fivehead.
Fivehead. That's right.
What the name was.
I'm trying to remember her name because I do have it here, and you might have
Tiamat
already. The Matron of Shifting Scales is her name.
Matron of Shifting Scales.
Yes. She is a gigantic dragon with 4 great wings and a twin tail. And then her scales shift between the 5 like chromatic colors that dragons are.
Oh, she's RGB.
Yes, she's RGB.
Everyone's
gamer.
And then,
into that right
so basically, a little bit of history here. She is the mother of all dragons, and then the father of all dragons is actually Arkon the Platinum. And he was basically the father of the metallic dragons, as it were.
Or can it be
we
Archon?
can, we can find him in the kingdoms of the Shimmering Veil. No, actually, no. That's
Nope.
the Silver Dragon.
Neither of them are said to exist. Well, they don't have mortal bodies anymore.
There's no
They're
platinum.
gods now.
There's no platinum spot in Arkonis, Cory.
There's no platinum. There are no platinum dragons, Scott. He was the only
It's
one.
a hidden island off to one side or something.
All right, so you have a plan in mind.
He's an alloy dragon.
Heading to, I'm assuming you are heading to Haatana then, to as your like next port of call.
So we're supposed to find this
yes.
lady, or we're supposed to kill her?
Find her and bring her back, and or send proof of her untimely demise.
So we're supposed to kill her.
If she dies, then at least they know where she is. But I don't think Nyrod would be very pleased with me as his BFF if I killed his lover.
They're in love.
I believe so. He denies it, but I can tell. I can sense.
You could see it in the scales.
Thank you.
I didn't even pick that up. I mean,
When he-
I was so
when he would do
lost
the
in his
ka-chow
description.
It would spell out her name.
Oh,
If you're-
okay.
Is that like the Lion King scene that everybody always talks about?
he would do that, and it would be the gold in a way, but it's just
exactly.
it's like taking a picture of her every time.
And in fact, why else would he tell me that she is Aphira the Gentle? Do you know what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying, Bolt? Yes?
I'm assuming she's gentle.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to assume that Fred doesn't get what she's saying because she just learned about the
She
birds and the
doesn't
bees
know.
last night.
So that's an innuendo for the internet.
So after kind of a moment of chatting, you hear John call down and say, "Victor, there's someone here to see you."
Okay.
Expecting someone?
I don't
you make-
remember.
Did you make friends
Are you in trouble?
while I was gone?
If I'm not back in 5 minutes, I didn't do it. Now go.
Usually that means he did it.
You actually step
did
up
it.
onto the deck and you see a wyvern is standing there, kind of like sniffing around a little bit. And the wyvern rider, you've seen him before. It's Keltod. Keltod Balgrax the Bold is his name because everybody has a the.
Is he the one that
He's the wing commander, yes.
met us in the air when we first came in?
And he says,
Caltractus.
Victor, I've been told to fetch you for Namal. She wishes to speak with you.
I didn't do it.
No, you're not in trouble. She just wants to get a progress update on your task that she gave you.
Oh, yes. I'm going to claim with all the stuff that's happened the last couple weeks, I don't remember.
Okay. No worries.
We were supposed to go find the one dude we found at
Oh, yes. That was the guy. That was the whole reason we went out and got
Yep.
him. Got it.
Yes.
All right. Let me. Does she want? I can bring.
The whole
ice.
reason for the incident.
They have. She hasn't met Fred yet in person. So.
Bring who you would like. She only requested one of you, and
Do you know when she was?
I knew you
expecting
were
us?
the one who was alive.
Do you know where? Do you know
Sometime
where she is?
today,
Today.
as in I'm here to escort you whenever you're ready.
Ah, yes. Bolt, Fred. they've
Yeah. At
come.
this point, I'll walk up.
We need to do a. By the way, this is Bolt, number 2.
Hello. Nice to meet you. I think we met before, actually.
No,
Oh, just a sec.
don't do this. Don't do it.
Good. I looked like this before.
Pretty trippy, right?
Let me go put it back.
Interesting new look.
And this is Fred.
I remember Fred as well. Hello, Fred.
Yes.
Well,
We've met?
Yeah, you all met him on top of the deck
Okay.
when you first arrived.
He's the one that pulled us over.
Yeah, he's the highway patrolman.
Okay,
Then. Yeah,
got you.
Pig. Yeah.
Dragonborn, sir. Thank you very much.
He is going to escort us back. We need to give a status update.
There's a pig. Syrinscape's great.
Yeah, it just made a big noise.
We need to go and let them know the whereabouts of Revan. Gentleman we were trying
Sure.
to-
John, raise anchor. Let's get ready to go.
Actually, I was just going to take the ship's not allowed to go over the Seat of the Dragon. I was going to take.
We
you
can
there.
go around it.
Quick question.
No, that we can't have airships flying over the city all the
Do I
time.
get to fly on one of these things?
Yes, I'm here to collect you all.
And
do you,
how-
do you potty train these? Like, how do you know they need to go out?
Most of the wyverns are trained by over in Orland's Roost, over in the Kingdoms of the Shimmering Veil. But
Tell me more.
I can
Tell me
smell it from
more.
here.
How much
Do
do they
they-
cost?
Do they like give off a tell to know that they need to go, or you just go wherever?
I mean,
I've been curious at least since like the beginning of this episode.
they have like a roost area where they typically.
Fred rubbing off on
Fred,
you.
yeah. They have a roost where they typically do all of their business that gets handled by like stable hands and such.
nice.
Out and about, I suppose we try and find a secluded area that they can do their business. They get a bit agitated, mostly.
So you're saying that you had
And as for the
never-
cost, they're hundreds of thousands of scale in cost. They're pretty expensive, usually reserved for only the most wealthy nations.
So we wouldn't have space for a roost here, I guess.
Not for a full
Now,
contingent.
why is there such a moratorium on flying over the city? Victor here has a broom that he can fly on.
And it
I'm
doesn't-
sure Fred
yes.
knows how to fly.
there is zero
somehow.
risk of
Your
it defecating on anyone.
My brain, obviously.
Flying, despite being a realm of dragons, flying isn't that common outside of winged flying from dragons. And
Well, neither is a good singing voice, but people are still allowed to sing, yes.
yes, but if there is flying in Aldros or anywhere in Arkonis, it typically means that there's dragons about and not friendly ones,
So
unless they are accompanied by wing
So-
commanders. And
you're saying that the citizens of Aldros are not intelligent enough to determine the difference between a ship and a dragon.
I'm saying that the citizens of Aldros are not used to things flying over our city unaccompanied.
So you could accompany us if we were to fly.
If I
Need to
had
fly.
permission to, yes. I have not received any permission to
We
allow
should
you.
go talk to Nyrod
Yes, we should.
after Victor's thing,
And I have
whatever it is.
more questions about wyverns and how hard is it to breed them? I've learned all about how that happens, by the way. Do you know about it?
Yeah, how things are made, like
Yes.
creatures. Yes, I'm aware. I have a wife.
Did you make babies?
Yes, we have 3 hatchlings.
Really?
Yeah.
Amazing. So if I wanted to raise my own wyverns,
I can't look
Either
at you
one's
the
fine,
same way.
acceptable.
whatverns,
Again, we don't
I
really.
would just need a male and a female, correct?
I mean, at its very base, yes, but there are a lot of intricacies that also go in there.
Is there a
to be
book I
trained.
could read on this? Because I'm just thinking, if I could have my army ride. Right? Do you agree?
It would make
You
a
would have
pretty
to talk to
impressive
somebody
body.
in Orland's Roost to see if they had any material, I suppose.
Is that here?
No, that's over in the Kingdoms of the Shimmering Veil.
Okay, well, I will keep that in mind. Thank you for the information.
You're welcome.
Forgive me if I cannot look you in the eye any longer. Now that I understand the gravity of what you have just confessed to us.
Having a wife and kids.
Having
Cannot
Confession.
the fact that
He's done the deed. It makes him unclean.
Unclean!
I cannot look you in the eye.
Right.
Let
Well,
us go.
I'd
you
love
have.
to learn more, but
Victor puts
I
on his
don't
blindfold.
know if that's inappropriate.
Are you asked like more what? Like about my kids?
No, about it.
That is very inappropriate. Yes. John leans over and he goes, I was going to ask first, so what are we talking about? Actually, I wasn't with you guys.
Let's go.
We'll tell you when you level up.
Perfect. So he is going to say that you can fly your broom and take a passenger with you, if you'd like. And I'm assuming that Fred is going to take the opportunity to
Absolutely
ride on Wyvernback, which will be just behind the wing commander. He's just got a second. His saddle's big enough for two, kind of thing. So, yeah. And let's see if you resist the urge to ask him awkward questions in his ear as you guys are flying towards the Seat of the Dragon. Just give me a d20 roll.
Oh, I did a natural 1.
You asked him so many uncomfortable questions about his personal relationship with his
When
wife.
he lands, we're like, I don't recall you being so red.
Does he answer any of the questions?
He does not.
I just don't understand. If I want to do that one day and make my own baby Freds, I need more information.
How many wyverns do I need for this?
I'm definitely not the person to talk to about this.
Who would be? Your wife?
No, definitely no.
Girl talk.
A brothel?
Okay. Do you have one nearby? I'll worry about it later. We have some place to be.
Good, because I definitely wouldn't know where a brothel is. I'm a married man. And he goes like walking off, the wyvern goes like walking off as he's muttering, and then he takes flight. So you are now at the Seat of the Dragon.
And the wyvern's also blushing, so the wyvern's red. So.
The wyvern was already red, though, so it's hard to tell.
Twice as red.
Yep. It's a deeper red. So the guards let you in, and an attendant kobold.
Torrent, how's the year doing?
Oh, a lot better. Thank you very much. I can actually hear out of it. I love it.
Don't do too many loud things.
Yeah, obviously. I think I know how to take care of my ears. Yeah. You forgot about the slight tinnitus in his other ear.
It's like when kids like pretend to box their ears and they actually do, and they kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
that really hurt. Like,
An attendant kobold comes up and ushers you up to the top of the Seat of the Dragon, where Namal, the blue-scaled dragonborn, is waiting, and she stands up and she goes, "My friends, welcome back. I heard there was trouble. I've been very concerned, and I'm expressing my condolences on behalf of all of Aldros for the loss of your friend.
I appreciate
and greetings to you, Fred. It's nice to finally meet you."
Wow.
Thank you. It is nice to meet me, I'm sure.
News travels fast.
News travels fast when you are the head of the guilds here in Aldros. Nothing really gets by without my notice.
Yeah, you need us to inform you on what we did.
I'm asking to. Yeah, nobody
I don't
knows.
want to be a
your
snitch or
progress.
anything, but
I'm just.
You are being belligerent
I am
today.
just yanking. I'm just yanking your tail.
nothing gets by.
You're picking up the slang here pretty quickly, I see.
What did you say?
Did I use that correctly?
Yes.
I was gonna draw us back into the wrong part of the conversation, but
Please have a seat. Have some food or a drink. We've got
Thank you.
a few samples here. Hand me one of those
what
gummied
do you call
bears,
these?
please.
Gummied bear.
Yep.
So-
Gummied owl bears.
Yes.
I must say, we executed some heavy losses, but as you can see, Bolt, we have been able to recover from his forced slumber.
It looks like being a construct has its benefits, being able to transfer bodies.
He's more than a construct. He's a person.
I wasn't
very
aware.
They, not him.
glaring at them all, even though you're the one who said it.
I personally wasn't aware that I could transfer bodies, but apparently that's something that's I'm capable of.
Again, you adventurers surprise me at every turn. And she waves a hand to the little tiny illusory koi that is circling around her pyramid.
I'm surprised that still works.
Oh,
I would think that
would it have not?
I would think that once I was dead, my magic would have dissipated, perhaps.
I guess I got lucky.
Maybe
It could also be the dragon horde's close proximity. Perhaps it is steeping this and keeping the magic going without your specific aid.
Well, I'm glad it's still working then.
Meanwhile, there's a very unhappy harpy queen and a very unhappy child in Rowan who no longer has firecracker rocks because those did.
All right, everybody,
fade away.
we're here for the annual celebration.
Name switch.
You had one job.
And we already talked about the
She built her entire
we already talked about the
enterprise on
shiny
this
rock
one
that the
thing.
Rat King lost when you made this. Look out for that side quest coming soon. I'm planning it. No, but I will go ahead and say that this one does not count towards your 4 created ones anymore. In fact, they're all gone because obviously they do last.
Yeah, I only
or they do.
I only had 3.
But they only last while you're alive if you die. So, yep. And so you also had to like re-infuse all of your weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
Which did you have a bag of holding infused, or did you just have a bag of holding?
It's an infusion, but it is.
It's not one of your selected infusions, or not?
No, I think I bought it.
Okay. I just wanted to.
No, sorry. It's a. I replicated it.
You made a replicator.
Yeah. So it's replicate magic item.
So yeah, technically that would have become inert, which is probably why nobody stole your gear or nothing from your bag of holding because it was just an empty bag. But when you reestablished the connection, it just gave you everything back. So.
According to this, it says I'm able to just create one.
I thought that it said when you died, your infusions dissipated. I'll check here.
I am not sure.
So the magical tinkering lasts indefinitely. So none of what I just said was true. Those are good.
Why must you always lie to us?
Are you cursing the gods again?
No, just the DM.
Yeah, it says this magic item you create is with this feature or
His name
infusion
is Cory.
are effectively prototypes of permanent
Allegedly.
items. Let's see here.
Your infused item remains indefinitely, but when you die, the infusion vanishes after a number of days have passed equal to your intelligence modifier minimum of 1 day. The infusion also vanishes if you give up your knowledge of the infusion for another one.
It was 8 days?
If an infusion ends on an item that contains other things like a bag of holding, its contents harmlessly appear in and around its space.
After that time.
After that time elapsed.
Which we got you before that time. So,
And you're a +4, I think, for intelligence, or is it +5?
so your stuff probably came out onto the deck, poop deck, where your bag was, but
Or in your room.
or in your room.
Yeah. You opened up the door to your room and it was full of like treasure and other stuff.
Yeah, okay.
You know how many
I had
corpses
I
in
have
there,
a
did you?
plus. I have +3 for it.
Okay. Yeah, so it would have lasted 3 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't that make your bag of holding smell a bit? Storing corpses in there.
There's like maggots keep falling
Actually,
out.
no
Yeah.
air in there at all. It's nice.
There's
Yes,
10,
if
there's
you
10 minutes
put
there.
if you put
It's true. Unless
a
you say
corpse,
Mhm.
like a fresh corpse,
Yeah.
into your bag of holding,
It would probably mummify it.
right? Because there wouldn't be like maggots to get in there.
And for the oxygen, you could say if there's 10 minutes of oxygen, it says in the thing that you put your hand in, you think, I want this thing to say 10 minutes of air. It'll pull it out of the bag of holding, and then it's just this.
You can purposely preserve it in vacuum.
Interesting.
The only thing you have to worry about is bagmen.
Yes.
Which we have all know do exist.
They all ran for it.
Anyway. Continue with what you were saying about your mission.
We went. We did find. I'm going to say his name wrong. Not Rowan.
Ravon.
Ravan. We did find Ravan. It seems that he has fallen in with a very.
Shut that window.
It's hard to say this, but unsavory crew. It seems he's following the Blood Flame Serpents. Are you familiar?
I'm afraid not, but you said they're unsavory?
Unsavory enough that they killed my friend Hermes and his family, and on Aneria they've caused a lot of problems.
Yes, their alignment is certainly toward the chaotic evil corner.
Right. And Ravon, you said Ravon is still with them then?
We believe so. We had captured him actually, but when we got a little, we let our guard down, thinking that we were safer than we were. We opened the door and were attacked. When I was able to make it out just barely, we were able to recover Bolt and Aramis, but they were nowhere to be found. There was an underground cave that sounded like they were going to a place called the Nook, the Nest.
Yeah, we actually found out what it was called. Remember when we were looking?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Because you talked to...
Thonk found that it was called Knave's Nook.
A place called Knave's Nook, and I believe if he's still there.
And she leans over and she calls a kobold over and speaks to him in Draconic, and he goes scurrying off. I'll see what I can find out about this Knave's Nook. That sounds vaguely familiar, but I'm not aware of where it actually is.
Still alive. Look for Thonk. I believe he helped us. He was very instrumental in.
Thonk is...
He is a small kobold.
I will look for a single
monk.
kobold in the city. Then.
He's very.
In a city full of
It's
kobolds.
hard to track him down.
He's one of a kind. You can't miss him. He's got this hat.
It's like looking for a kobold in a gold
kobold
pile.
stack.
In a gold pile.
Yeah.
But yes, if you look for him, then I'll give her the whereabouts of the, because we had I had it written down here, Red Scale Tavern.
Yep.
He believed last time I saw him was at the Red Scale Tavern. Maybe try looking there.
I will see if I can speak with him.
But that is where we lost the trail, and unfortunately we were not able to recover him. But it seemed that he was it did not seem like he was there against his will.
That is highly unfortunate. Thank you for searching for him at least. That
No problem.
I do appreciate that.
Tried to bring him back, but
If you wish, I can consider the matter concluded, despite it being not what I wanted it to be concluded as. Or I would be appreciative if you continued to search for my brother and try to bring him back.
We already made a deal with you. We would continue working on that.
Thank you. I
it
do
is the
appreciate
honorable thing to do.
And the kobold comes back and she grabs the scroll and opens it up and kind of reads through it. And she goes, "Oh, well, I hope you're up for more adventure because it looks like Knave's Nook is not in Ulzat Moai territory. It's apparently within the Triads territory. Are any of you familiar
You keep
with...
saying Ulzat Moai territory. Is that
So
is that all the bronze?
Yeah, so all the bronze is... It's called Ulzat Moai is the country name.
Oh, right.
But the Alloy Alliance all exists within this kind of section of land. I need to put if you click on the dragon, I think it does say...
Yep.
It either says Ulzat or it says Alloy.
I do not mean to be insensitive, but it seems that we don't necessarily have bad blood with them, per se. If we were to go there, would they outright attack us?
The white dragons are notoriously duplicitous, but if you go there under the guise of merchants, they may not attack you. Unfortunately, you would be taking your airship, I would assume.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, your airship presents a tempting target for any nation.
Well, we may go part of the way and then go the rest of the way on foot, if that's the case.
Of course.
I've been thinking of a new tactic that involves psionics and bolt being thrown like a meteor with a large animal to attack in case we get in trouble.
I will leave the specifics on adventuring up to the adventurers.
Yes, because honey badger don't care. You'll do whatever you want.
That is the only type of badger that we have in Arkonis, and they are terrifying.
And they're dire.
They are dire, yes. They are very big. Anyway, Knave's Nook, the last known location of it, it's sort of a hideout for rebels and thugs.
Scum and villainy.
Sort of. It's as much as people like to claim that it's for bandits, it seems to be for a more noble class of ne'er-do-wells. The kind that would... Our official stance would be that they are terrorists and thieves, but many of the people might believe them to be more
Revolutionaries?
revolutionaries or the sort that would steal from the rich and give to the poor, that kind of thing. Not that we would ever condone such actions around here. As head of the Fishermen's Guild, I absolutely cannot condone the actions of thieves or terrorists.
Wait,
Understood.
you said they would steal from the rich and give to the poor.
Yes.
Just like Robin Hood. And that's what I've wanted this whole time, to have my merry men, which is you.
Oh, is that
Two.
that Aarakocra
I'm
you
trying
keep
to
telling us
become the
about?
married man. It doesn't work that quickly.
Remember
No,
the
the Aarakocra
uniforms
was
I
the
got for
bard
you.
friend of his, actually. He's a
Oh,
kitsune.
Right. I was just thinking Robin.
Robin Hood?
Anyway, here, and she hands you kind of a map with a location on it.
Okay.
And you can look and see Knave's Nook.
I see
here. It is that little,
Knave's
it is
Nook.
that
The only
little
gold
torch.
thing.
Yep.
Is this like
In the middle of Arkonis.
the Howard Pyle
So
version?
what?
There's like a little torch, symbol of a torch in
Right above the light.
Xylian Peaks. Almost right there. Yep, you see it. It's on your. It's
Well,
on
we
there.
are headed that
Where?
direction.
It's the.
I see
yep,
it.
yep.
Okay. Did I?
Well, that's fortuitous.
Fortuitous Shen.
And I apologize, I was not part of this original agreement, but what is the payment for us retrieving your brother?
You can have Aramis's share.
It was a personal favor of mine, in exchange for making sure that your unfortunate dealings here were kind of stricken from the record when you first arrived.
I thought I've done a rather good job of that.
And
myself.
it would also be a personal favor from a highly influential member of the Fishermen's Guild. If you wish a monetary reward, one can be arranged.
No, being able to be your sole ambassadors to Aneria is enough.
You three would be the sole ambassadors between Aneria
Not
and
just
Arkonis.
us. The Favored Watch as a whole.
There
Our
are many
organization.
members.
There's at least, what did you say, like 37, 26,
23.
Do you
23?
Well, including us, that'd be 26.
do you have a lot of experience in diplomacy?
Absolutely we do.
I had a knife named diplomacy once.
See,
What happened to it?
I think I lost it somewhere, and I was really sad. I don't like
I left it embedded in someone's back or something. You're like,
After they said something I didn't like.
Yeah.
It was stolen from me while I was sleeping in the slums.
I see. I mean, if you had a contingent of diplomats that would be willing to establish trade and discussions between Arkonis and Aldros, I definitely would like to get on top of that.
Here, I'll just teleport home and get a couple people and teleport back.
I mean, we're basically emissaries and I
Oh, you can't teleport between realms. Sorry.
Oh, that's right.
I won't speak for the Apex or nothing, but the Eight Rings would probably, they were a bunch of tradesmen, craftsmen, craftswomen. They would all love to open up new lines of business. They need lots of money to rebuild Hasmondale.
Right.
After Bolt destroyed it, it was pretty much in shambles.
Okay. Well, again,
Not
Could you-
you,
what?
other Bolt. You're fine.
Oh, right.
as
Someone
it
else
stands,
named Bolt that doesn't look like me. Got it.
as it stands right now, you are the first among only a handful of ships that have made the trek across the astral plane in order to get here.
Astral Sea.
Actually, it's called the astral plane now.
Oh, that's right. You said
I updated it because it's non-denominational, is what I'm calling it now. Because, by George, I don't want to be OGL.
George.
Yep.
Painted.
That's original George license.
Okay.
Yeah.
OG.
And typically, because of the placement between Aneria and Arkonis, most things would come through Aldros, at least to begin with. And, I know that we had to scramble to make sure that we could accommodate your friend Morbant recently with his influx of mana into our fair realm.
And he's definitely, like I said, if negotiations with him will go through us. He's definitely.
We're basically best friends.
Well,
She made.
you say through clenched teeth.
She made the coolest pop out for him.
Right. Well, if this goes well, and obviously we've already established quite the friendship, and if you did bring back Ravon, I would be even more grateful. And I mean, obviously, I don't believe that at this point our relationship hinges upon it. It would be very nice to have my brother back, if possible.
We'll do
Now-
our best.
The last time we saw him,
He was frosty.
he was half covered in ice. I don't know if it was magic or something, but it wasn't like he was frozen in the ice. It was part of him.
That's
It was
Awful.
quite disturbing.
was it permanent or some sort of enchantment?
It seemed to be magic in nature of some sort.
It stayed when he was knocked out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when he was unconscious, either someone else was maintaining concentration.
He had a infatuation with the some goddess of chaos, and it
She
doesn't.
sounds interesting.
She's been long dead, as far as I'm aware.
Cersei?
She was dead far before the Uzalt Empire fell. In fact, it was kind of the crux of their fall, was her death.
Maybe she was just reincarnated.
Perhaps, but
Was her name Pepcake?
no. That's the god of misfortune, the goblin god of misfortune. No, Asante.
Asante.
Yes. And if he found some sort of relic of hers, maybe it changed him for the worse.
Possible.
It's possible.
But we'll do our best to try to bring him back.
Thank you.
And if it falls into the hands of the blood flame serpents, it seems to be their MO. Of
Chaos.
Finding chaos and messed up things.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Oh, I love chaos. It's the best.
I actually prefer keeping things nice and orderly.
I do indeed.
Me
Do
too.
you?
Especially
Yes.
drawers and stuff.
Me too.
They have to be perfect.
See?
Would you like to
All
see
my
my
papers.
various lengths of wire?
Like keep them in this drawer.
Crown.
Yeah, the crown. You're like pumping the eye socks.
You still have one of the eye stalks that still has a feather
Yep.
glued to it.
The other one is finally opened up, although it keeps blinking.
It's all red.
Yeah, it needs some clear eye.
Yeah, dry red
Sad.
eyes. Use clear eyes.
Do you have any tips or tricks for us as we traverse across the way?
I definitely would not recommend traveling by airship through the Sylium Peaks, just because it could be dangerous.
What about the Ulzat Moai? Would it be safer?
Yes, I can provide you with a writ to allow you to travel across the airways. The Muban.
Yeah. Do you guys have Muba here? Would they have underground highways or anything?
No, I'm afraid that's nobody's seen a Muban in generations.
We saw one.
Really?
Oh, he wasn't originally a Mubon. Moban?
Muban.
Muban. He was turned that way by Baba Yaga.
He's now my
Every
work.
time that one of you says something, it makes me want to experience all of your adventures. Is there a place where I can do this?
Absolutely. There's this place called Tales of Aneria. It's on YouTube.
Yes, here, I'll give you this
Subscribe.
portable tablet
Like, comment.
that you can watch.
It looks like the YouTube play button and you hit it. And
Yeah.
it's just
When we were writing for my execution, I wrote down a little bit about him, so he's got it in his
Look
notebook.
how
I did
handsome
not
he
know you
was.
drew a picture of him. That's hilarious.
Yep. Darth, what's his name?
Darth
Moops. Darth Moops.
But he's not Darth. He's just Moops.
The tragedy of Darth Moops.
You're gonna have to send that to me, by the way.
All of your sketches, man.
Yes.
They all need to be
every
uploaded.
sketch needs to be input into our system. Anyway, I would recommend paying proper respect and making sure that you don't go flashing your gold around when it comes to most places. Just because scale is the currency of the day. Gold will draw too much attention, and
People do seem a bit caught off guard when we...
Don't you think people are caught off guard a bit just by how we look?
I mean, your kind are rare, but they're not unheard of. We do have a few elves here, especially with dusky skin. You may have seen them actually below the city. Some of the farmers are.
Well, that's just because Fred doesn't get enough vitamin D. You spend more time in your room than on the deck.
Well, yeah, Scott, she didn't know what vitamin D was until last
I'm
night.
so worried someone's gonna make that joke.
Sorry.
Another bold joke.
That is yeah.
That is not a cure-all.
Um,
This is how I look, Bolt. I was born this way.
So was it.
Again, Genasi
You were
are rare
reborn
as
that
well,
way.
but my brother is a half elf technically.
I'm a born again Warforged.
Really?
He's adopted.
Born again.
Ah.
Yeah.
I was very curious about that. So.
Yeah, it.
Have you ever seen another Genasi before?
One or two. They're not really, like I said, they're not really that common.
What
but,
about a construct, a Warforged?
You're probably the most unique, although there are not plenty, but there are the occasional Moai servitor that comes through.
We met one of those actually.
Did you now?
We have one.
You have one?
Yes.
They aren't. They are sentient beings. They
Oh,
can't,
absolutely.
They can't be bought.
But he's ours.
Well, technically, everyone could be bought with the right amount of gold.
The props for being subtle there.
I'm trying to remember his name.
His name is Hafus.
That's right.
Yes.
Hey,
Sorry,
just-
my notes from playing
We-
Thonk are very scarce because Thonk doesn't take.
Yeah.
We
Scarce.
freed Hafus.
Because Thonk doesn't take.
Excavator dude in tunnel.
He's basically offered to help us out a little bit, and
Oh.
he's actually hanging out on our ship.
Remnants of ancient
Wonderful.
race.
Pretty cool.
Well, if a Moai has agreed to help you, it's a boon indeed. They're a very industrial, sentient species, sentient energy species as such. But and they are very knowledgeable. They have knowledge of ancient cities and techniques and magics, and not that they can really use them as much here. That would be another thing. I would be very wary of flashing around too much magic elsewhere. That might reveal you as outsiders as well.
If anyone sees, don't worry. I will kill them.
But I don't believe that either of you three could
Leave no survivors.
would draw too much scrutiny if you wore a cloaked hood or anything. Especially in the Syrian Peaks, everyone is sort of cold and frosty there, so cloaks are normal.
We should probably pick up some cold weather gear to blend in.
Victor's wearing like 2 cloaks. One's displacer cloak, and, then
And the one
other
in many
one's with the
pockets.
patches.
Yep.
He's got 2 cloaks on currently. And he's like,
Technically, that one's
you
a
have
robe.
cut, you have cut
That's
both
fair.
of them in half and then stitched them together, so
Yeah.
it's half of one.
Are
half
you
of the other.
constantly sweating under there?
I mean, it's
You have
leather. I
A
mean,
cloak of displacement. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot about that.
So did he.
Yep, because that is like, there's so many times where like I think in that last fight that you might not have been hit, that you were hit. That is.
Don't worry, we went through a whole last session. We went through a whole strategy meeting about
Yes.
Knowing your items.
Tactic number 1. Wizards
Oh,
die first.
I think you're
Number
actually
2,
not attuned to
never
it yet. by
split
the way.
up. Number 3, surrender unless ...
Wait, what?
Don't say Zolos.
yeah, it's not the displacer. I have the cloak of protection currently, and the boots of speed, and the stone of good luck are the 3. That
Yes, and your new Heaven's Edge dagger as well also requires attunement, so you may have to adjust your attunement slots here.
Now,
That would be why the close displacement didn't matter, because you aren't
Yep.
technically wearing it yet.
Nope. I mean, I wear it. I'm just not attuned to it.
Yeah.
Because why not? Just look flashy.
so would you recommend we travel to Ha'atana and then park our airship there? Or...
If you're looking for a place that is close to Knave's Nook, I would not recommend Ha'atana.
All I'm saying is you said not to fly the airship over the Syrian peaks.
Yes, your closest city that you might feel would be safe would be Shahar Tanba. However, there are a couple towns and such that are closer if you want to risk one of them Obviously, they're not important enough to be on the map, but they might. One of them might be available here. That might be closer to Knave's Nook. I do
suppose
have
I was
to.
just thinking if there was a city you recommend we stop at, if you had any contacts there. I'm thinking ahead, you
Yeah.
see.
Shahar Tamba, there is another one of the great cities of the Alloy Alliance, and you can stop by and speak with the noble.
And I'm
not nobility,
sorry,
but,
is Shahar Tamba on the map?
Yes, the left
so there's 3 stars in
left star.
Ulzat Moai, which is that
I
kind of
see.
it's the one on the left. It is the city of that's mainly run by the Copper Dragons. But they would be able to provide you with safe passage, be able to take care of your airship if you made an agreement there. I can even write up a letter of recommendation.
That would be very helpful. Thank you.
Of course. I would actually avoid Ha'atana for the time being.
How about Shahar
And why
Kanzi?
is that?
Ha'atana has recently gone through a change in ownership, management, as it were. One royal family successfully took over that is more favorable towards the Sylium Peaks Triad as far as relations go. There's some question about their loyalty to the Alliance at this time.
Well, we have a
Queen with us, so we could replace them with.
we do. Oh, you're right. Princess Fred, the Queen.
Oh,
Got it.
sorry, we're not talking about. My bad.
You're thinking
Well-
of Freddie Mercury again.
We need to head to Ha'atana to look into the disappearance of someone for Nyrod.
Right.
Yes.
I
Fira,
heard.
the gentle.
I heard about
She
that.
was last seen, or she traveled to Shahar Kanzi, which I believe is fairly close to Ha'atana.
I would
Oh.
recommend there then.
Was she traveling from there to Ha'atana?
So she went from she basically went from the Golden City, which is in Basmahat, to Shahar Kanzi,
Okay.
and then to Ha'atana from there.
Okay.
And from Ha'atana, she was going to be going somewhere else, but it wasn't really known where she was heading.
Well, perhaps we should go to Shahar Kanzi and
Do you have contacts there?
I have contacts within all of the Alloy Alliance. We have representatives from Aldros in every allied nation.
And is Shahar Kanzi safe?
Yes. It's one of the safest cities of them all. It's one of the ones owned by the dragons. The Bronze, specifically.
So we can remember that because it sounds like Hakuna Matata.
Yes.
It's a phrase I've heard before, means no worries.
Yes. I've heard that as well.
this is the first time ever hearing of it.
I will.
It was in Hasmon Day. It was-
Hakuna what?
Yes.
Hakuna
Hakuna Matata. It's from his
Hakalulu.
Hasmon
Wanna
Day.
Hakalulu.
You walk up to people and be like, Hakuna Matata, me brother. It's pretty cool.
Let me drop the writ so that you can fly through the skies without any issue. If any other Alloy Alliance patrols see you, you'll have an official.
There's a very
Notice.
there's a particular captain of the guard that is very much a stickler about not flying over the city.
We all want to be sticklers about that. It keeps everything nice and orderly around here.
That's good. By the way, do you know that he has made babies?
Ah, yes, his little ones. I believe they're about 2 years old now.
To snitch on him. He told us that in confidence. Now no one can look him in the eye.
I don't think
I mean,
it's a secret.
I gave them a gift when the hatchlings were born.
You said it was
You were
okay.
there?
Not there
That
for
is
the birth.
disgusting.
I was there to
When they
to
were
see them.
conceived.
No, not to, of course not. That would be incredibly improper.
Is it?
Yes.
See, I'm just learning about this. I don't know how it works. So, good to know.
We
Who
need-
should be there?
We need the book equivalent for education, sex education.
Yes.
Like everybody poops, but
Yeah.
it's everybody something.
Fred
else.
was raised in an abstinence-only household.
Sir had none of that.
Nope.
Boys are poisonous.
He didn't want any more.
I mean, you have like
running around.
eight brothers, right?
Yeah, and he was like, "Sow your wild oats. Just don't let them come back to you."
Anyway,
Writ.
Yes, I'll get that
Why will
drawn
no one
up.
look me in the eyes after I ask them these questions?
I don't think Victor knows either.
I've got my blindfold on, and he's still doing this, like, looking around the room.
You're getting married, aren't you?
Politically
Well,
speaking,
I don't know that anymore.
such discussions are taboo.
Really?
They are typically kept private between agreeing parties and not shared. There's a phrase that's kiss, don't tell.
Oh.
Wait, is it kiss, don't tell? It's an old phrase. No. Don't kiss and tell. Sorry, I'm thinking of. I was thinking show, don't tell.
Don't tell.
which is a writing thing. But yeah, it's don't kiss and tell.
Don't tell Chris. Got it.
Yes, okay.
About your kissing.
So she writes up a formal writ, as well as an introduction letter that you could take to.
Look, if you're really interested, I can draw up some diagrams for you.
I would love that.
This is the Vitruvian man, and this is the Vitruvian woman.
It would very much be like a blueprint.
Perfect.
like in the sex education textbook when it has the full every single piece is labeled. Yeah, of course.
There's
Yes.
a cutaway.
Yes.
anatomy.
Yes. And Fred will have 1,000 questions.
Anyway, here is the writ. Here is your letter of introduction. You can take that to any of the Alloy Alliance. They will recognize you as friends of mine, and then you can introduce yourself to them.
Thank you.
Of course.
We appreciate it. And I do apologize for making you feel uncomfortable.
Oh, it's okay. Again, if it's something that you have
And I never apologize to anyone.
Well, I accept your apology greatly then.
Good. Now, shopping spree? Shopping spree!
We probably should pick up a few things.
Okay, so, speaking of shopping spree, there is something interesting that you can do while you are in Arkonis, my friend.
Just the rune carving.
Yes. So any non-magical item that you have on you, or that you purchase, can be carved with runes. Basically, runic magic that helps, that you can activate to enhance it. It's sort of like a single charge that you can add to something. While you guys are looking through this, the plan is to travel northeast to Shahar Khanzi, and then from there travel to Ha'atana. Is that correct? Or are you going straight to Ha'atana? I know that she said Shahar Khanzi would probably be the better option, but you're still the main characters here and can do what you want.
I'll let Bolt decide.
I think we should go to Shahar Khanzi first and see if we can pick up the trail of her name.
Ifira.
The
Ifira.
gentle.
The gentle.
The gentle.
Right. Afira the Gentle Lover. Got it.
The gentle.
Exactly.
The hopefully not dead. Got it.
Okay. So you head out of the Seat of the Dragon. Maul bids you good luck. You can spend some time shopping around the city. We won't make you roleplay any of that because you got stuff to look over. And yeah, I just set the rune packet all over to you so you guys can decide on that. However, when you do get back to the ship eventually, there is somebody waiting for you. The human cleric with the purple robes, or it's purple, but it's kind of like a purple and blue mix. You know, the kind of the standard Arcanum mixture there. He's standing on the top deck, speaking with John, who's listening, enraptured almost. And he says, "Pardon me." And he turns. He goes, "Bolt, correct?
Correct.
We did not meet
What is
yesterday.
your name?
I am Thalaman. Harkroth, if you need to know the last name.
Thalaman?
Thalaman, yep.
Like the Song of Thalaman?
Yep, like
The Thong of Thalaman?
The Thong of Thalaman. How do you know what I'm wearing under these robes?
Well, I hear it's part of the cult requirements. What is,
Solomon
how do you spell it?
Thalaman.
Okay.
And then his last name is Hargroth. Hargroth.
Not Hard Greaves, right?
No.
He doesn't have superpowers? Okay.
I was actually hoping that I could speak with you in private, if you don't mind.
just me, or
Just you, please.
I've heard what happens in private.
I don't want to know.
that's lesson 3. We'll get to that.
Okay.
Would that be acceptable?
If you don't mind, I'll go talk to him, and then if it's something that pertains to the Wayward Watch as an organization, I will tell them.
Of course. I just merely want to broach the subject with you and let you decide how to best handle the information.
Okay. I will lead him to.
Okay.
He's
actually he's going to turn to John, and he's going to say, "Remember the teachings that I've taught you, and feel free to visit if you're ever back in Salisbury." And John's like, "Oh yeah, Devereaux sounds like a great guy." And then he's going to take you. He's going to follow your lead. So you take him where? Sorry.
As I'm walking out, Fred, deprogram him. You just walk up, just
Start slapping you.
The power of Fred compels you.
John, forget all of that. I'm going to teach you about things that happen in private. I just learned.
Okay. I can't forget things. Like, that's not something that... Is that something that people usually can do? Because I haven't learned how to do that.
No.
Okay.
But...
Because I seem to remember everything. Like, everything. I know what you had for breakfast.
Really?
Yeah. And he starts rattling off, like, the number of bites that you had in each, like, type of food.
I think you might be a genius.
Weird.
Like Rain Man.
Is that a guy who makes rain?
No.
Huh.
But I will call you that from now on.
Please don't. I don't want to offend anybody.
That's true.
Right. You said something about in private.
Yes.
People in
Bolt
private.
is giving me some blueprints that he drew up, so perhaps we should wait for those.
Right. Okay.
Very educational.
Sure. I'll just get back to swabbing the deck then.
I feel like your efforts are being wasted. Or your talents,
But-
rather.
I mean, I'm good at it.
No, keep it up.
Okay.
take pride in what you do.
He's gonna
Look how
be
damn
the
clean this deck is.
Yep, he's gonna be the savant that is okay being just the janitor. Mm-hmm. So you take Thalamin where exactly?
I'll take him to my cabin.
Okay. He sits down and kind of glances over at your dead body in the corner.
Oh, sorry about that. I'm going to take a lampshade and hang it over Old Bolt's head.
It's quite all right, and it's a lot brighter in here now that you removed the lampshade from your lamp. Because
we have lamps,
Why do you
apparently.
have a lamp?
Why not?
There's a genie
Wait.
inside.
That's
oil
not a
lamp. It's an oil
lamp. It's a
lamp.
mimic.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
I'm a genie in a bottle, baby. That's what the
I'm-
mimic
What would you like to
sings.
talk about?
Right. I'm here to deliver and it's not a threat or a warning of any kind, but it is sort of a warning. Are you aware of your companion Fred and who she is?
I know a little bit about her, but I learn something new every day.
Yes. Fred is a member of the Bloodbane family. Are you familiar with them at all?
Only what she's told me.
Justicar Valish Bloodbane, her father, was very influential in the Arcanum, or he was becoming more influential. In fact, he was the warden of the beacon before it was breached. And he kind of like lightly dances around the subject that he's speaking to the one that it was breached for, you know.
Yes, I know of that well.
I figured you would. And while the children of Davros don't hold any ill will towards the Wayward Watch for purging the corruption and setting us back on the correct path of his worship during that night, I'm afraid that Justicar Bloodbane is among those Arcanum that does hold a grudge against the Wayward Watch. A deep hatred, some might say. When everything was falling apart, he came to a lot of our members and requested that they follow him and serve in his, I think he was calling it the Brotherhood of Neve or something like that. And if he finds out that his daughter is working for the organization that almost ruined him, or if he finds out that Fred were to be killed in service to said organization,
Can't die.
things
What did I tell you about listening in on other people's conversations?
things might get bad, even worse for the Wayward Watch as far as the Brotherhood goes. So far, it seems like they've been content, and the other factions of the Arcanum have been content to let you continue to exist without any sort of recompense.
Let us continue to exist.
That was a poor choice of words.
It very much was.
I mean that the forces of the Arcanum, such as they are these days, would very much like to stay out of any confrontation with the Wayward Watch in the future. However,
That's right.
the Brotherhood of Neve, if push came to shove, has considerable force to throw around still.
As does the Wayward Watch. The
Right.
3 on this ship are not the only members.
Right. As far as it goes, you have the one who is the voice of the wilds. There's the member who's returned to the Vanguard. There's, I think, maybe one that is a worshipper of a dead god, that sort of thing. Oh, and an orc that seems to be going around trying to make business connections in Salsport for you.
Among others.
Interesting. I had not heard of any others in the Wayward Watch.
We don't like to broadcast everything.
Especially not dead bone fairies.
Yeah, definitely not an army of bone fairies.
All carrying the Wayward Watch colors. Again, I am simply here to deliver a personal tete-a-tete, a warning of sorts, so that you can know exactly what you're getting into with this Fred.
Are you in league with the Brotherhood of Neve?
No, unfortunately, our goals are separate. They do provide a little bit of support when we do trade with them, but mostly the children of Davros are seeking to recruit the faithful of the Sun God in order to, we are looking to reclaim some of Aneria's darker corners. I don't mean Aneria as in our continent, I mean Aneria as a whole. There are some evils out there that have taken root in the other realms that we have been made aware of, and the children of Davros seek to stamp them out.
It seems like a very ambitious plan.
It is, unfortunately.
Especially because Aneria itself had been thrown into chaos fairly recently.
Exactly. However, we understand that a global policing force among all of the different realms is not viable, as it was when Aneria was a single realm. The children of Davros are now seeking to help the people in need more than anything else. And if that means establishing a foothold in some of its darker corners, so be it.
Well, I appreciate the not a warning.
We can call it a warning, but not one that I'm giving you from my people. One that I'm giving you about the Brotherhood.
If it boils down to it, we will deal with the Brotherhood.
I wish you all the best in that regard.
Now, I believe you have a ship to catch.
Indeed I do. Thank you very much for your time. And Davros be with you.
Have a safe journey.
And he stands up and he's going to walk out. With a fuming Bolt left behind, probably. Does Bolt like to be threatened?
No, definitely not. Especially, well, I don't think I would care
Yeah.
about me being threatened. It's more of a... You threaten one of the members of the Wayward Watch.
Yeah.
And whether or not they're brand new or a seasoned veteran, I take it as serious.
He You did notice one thing that your passive insight picked up is, despite him saying that the children of Davros hold no ill will towards the Wayward Watch, he does seem to have a rather in-depth view of who your members are and whereabouts they might be.
Yeah. Which is why I bluffed a little bit about the membership, hoping that.
Well,
I mean, so
you
there
know
are
what?
some
Give me a
others.
deception
There's,
check. I want to see how much he
graves.
believes you.
They're mostly dead.
They could be raised at any moment.
Yes, I just need to learn necromancy.
It's true. Multiclass.
Yeah. Time to become a
Another
wizard. Another
class.
class.
Don't do it,
On top
Fred.
of your 3.
Yes.
Wait, is it 3 or 4 that you have
It's
now?
3.
It's 3, okay.
Yes. It is. Warlock 1. Fighter 10. Sorcerer.
I have advantage on charisma
It completely
checks.
shocked me when I looked it up and I saw that you were a fighter mostly.
Yeah.
Because for some reason I was thinking you were a sorcerer mostly.
Yeah.
And it was
That's
like,
why
oh,
you're like,
okay,
oh,
all right,
Fred
yeah, makes sense.
clearly
Yeah.
has fireball.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't.
Not a
That's with advantage is a whopping 8.
8. You didn't get the impression that he was too concerned when you said that.
I really should extend invitations to quite a few extra people. Because, like, in Bolt's mind, the Wayward Watch, yes, is a group or a
Like an
organization.
adventuring group.
However, it extends to all those that we have made like friends of. Like,
Yeah.
like if push came to shove, it would be like Victor's mother,
Yeah.
Leah Hornet.
You're like the people
guys
you're calling it.
Yeah,
calling it
like-
neighbors for.
Like I'd be the whole
The Fallow Shields.
The Palo Shields. Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah. There would definitely be a on your left Adventures Endgame situation going on.
I mean, that literally
where I would-
happened at the
At the Beacon.
Beacon,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All the factions got together.
The Lich, we got some good ones in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Tony the Tiger.
What's it? Zart's was
Yeah.
right?
Tony the Tiger.
Oh yeah, the
Great.
Going
He's
for
so
big time.
soft.
Yes.
It's Tobin.
Tobin.
Open the tiger.
Tobin Falk.
Tobin the Tiger.
Fun fact, Tobin. Well, never mind. I'll save that for later. That's a DM moment where I'm like, I shouldn't reveal lore right now. Okay.
I'm gonna go find Fred.
Where is Fred at this time?
She and John Broomsman
Mm-hmm.
are having
The talk.
conversation. The talk.
Okay.
Yeah, she's just like telling him everything that she's learned.
Well, I always wondered what it was for. I just didn't think it would be that. That's crazy. I mean, it has other purposes that I've discovered, and like the two don't seem to mix very well.
What are the other purposes?
Fred, are you here? Oh,
Thank you, Scott. Perfect timing. I appreciate it.
Put a pin in that.
Yes.
That thought.
Uh-huh.
Not
also
No, never again.
Oh, he's got a Prince Albert.
well, if that's what he's into, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. I don't think John knows what he's into at this point.
John, I also would like to talk to you later about what Thalaman was speaking to you about.
Oh, yeah, he was saying that the sun's really awesome.
Yeah. Can you go ahead and clean up some of the quarters,
Oh, yeah, we'll do.
please?
There's a lot of glitter in mine from scrapbooks and the invitation.
Oh, Fred. Oh, thank you for the challenge. And he goes,
He gets his tweezers out.
yeah, here we go.
Everyone.
You
Yep,
know it is
he
the
goes off and he's just like, he
STD
like
of the
cracks
craft
his
bros.
knuckles. John is definitely the type who would learn Mage Hand just so that he could like better clean, you know.
Fred,
Unseen servant.
our visitor that was just here, he had some things that he told me about your family
Okay.
and your father and your brothers,
Ugh.
and the Brotherhood of Neve.
Yes.
He mentioned that they have a distaste for the Wayward Watch,
Oh, yes.
to put it lightly.
Absolutely.
And that if they found out that you were working
Friends
with
only-
us,
Friend is only with the Wayward Watch because Daddy doesn't like it.
Maybe a smidge bit.
if they found out that you were working with us, or if you were to die in our employ,
Can't die, but yes.
they would be quite upset and probably try to come after both Victor and I and everyone else that is associated with us.
Yes. And... Oh, I'm sorry. Is this news to you?
Yes, this is the first time I think that we've heard of this. I think so, right? Yes.
So as far as it goes,
I think you've
Fred-
told us like a little bit about it, but it's more just like, hey, my dad used
Yeah.
to be part of the Arkonis.
I think I did share that he was part of this Neve Brotherhood because
you might have shared that.
Xander,
Yeah,
her
Xander
youngest
told
brother,
you.
the youngest brother, and Aramis was there when they had that conversation.
But I don't know if you told that to the rest of the Wayward
Yeah.
Watch. I can't remember.
Oh, I might have just kept it to myself.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
That's fine.
Yeah, because Aramis was hanging out.
Yeah.
Aramis
You guys-
remembered.
you guys
Carrying
were
all
off.
of my bags.
You guys are
Yes.
off shopping.
And then as far as it goes, like you've definitely said like I hate my father, I want to kill him, but you
Yes.
haven't really like explained a lot beyond that. Like you say that all the time, but you really kind of are just like I think probably in Fred's head you have explained it like perfectly. Like yes, I've told you absolutely everything, but in
Yes.
reality you've only like given the broad strokes, almost like. I don't know, to put into a real world example, a DM who knows everything behind the scenes and then goes, why don't my players get the clues that I'm leaving around?
I see. Okay, well, I feel a little bit bad that whatever that horrible man said. I feel a little bad that he was the one to break the news to you. But
No.
allow me to expound. May I?
Yes, I was just going to say I understand the need for privacy and secrecy.
Yes, I do too, now.
And I just hope that in the future, if there is something that would harm the rest of the group, including John and Victor, that you would let us know.
Of course. But you know I have a plan. I'm trying to protect you all. Where's Victor? Victor!
Falls out of the whatever's nest.
The crow's nest.
The crow's nest.
The rock's nest.
Hello.
Apparently I have some explaining to do, and I feel very excited about it, because
Oh, if
so
it's
far...
what you and John Broomsman were talking about, I don't want to hear it.
He starts climbing back up to the.
No.
Oh,
You already heard it once. You don't want to hear it again.
Yes, this I'm gonna have a hard enough time explaining that one to Lyra. It's not going to go
You don't
well.
think she knows?
No.
Probably not. I don't know.
Victor, we'll have to get back to this, but I think you need to sit down with Lyra and have a very long conversation.
I don't like long conversations.
Well,
I like them succinct.
I think you. I think
I
you
can
need
speak to her. I'm learning so much.
Perfect.
And once I have those blueprints...
You know what? I am not going to get you doing that. Feel free to talk to Lyra.
This is what best man's for, right? Yes.
I am the best man. Okay, let me give you a lay of the land, if I might. As you know, my name is Winifred Rosaceae Bloodbane. The end part, the part,
Yeah.
is pending. But,
Yes.
The queen.
The queen,
the but, not the but.
the preposition.
My father, his name is Vaelish Bloodbane, and he was quite prominent member of the
He was one we flushed out,
Arcanum.
right?
Arcanum. Yes.
In fact, you both have seen him before. Now that you know that he was the warden at the beacon,
Yeah.
yeah, you both.
I mean, I let some goblins out, and we did some like sign language and stuff.
Did we fight him at all?
Pretty offensive.
No.
He was
That sounds
he was the
wonderful.
one in charge of the jail cells
Yes.
when we were there.
Not the one I left the letter for. That's
No.
a different one.
No, I do remember he had quite the glare.
Oh yes. You see,
You
sir.
look nothing like him.
Thank you.
You must take after your mother.
I've been told that. My father, sir, he has always had us call him. He married my mother, and they had a brood of boys.
I have several brothers. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 brothers. 6. My oldest is named Duvrin Bloodbane. He's named after my mother's maiden name. And then there's Belgriff Bloodbane. We call him Bell for short. And then Thorn, of course. And then Lesden, but we call him Les. And Soren.
Thorn and Lesden are twins, by the way.
They're twins.
Yes.
And then there's Xander.
Victor and I are like, we've got the board up and we've got the family tree, and we're like, hold on.
Yes.
The middle one, he's the middle. Okay.
He's got the board.
I'm gonna need more yarn. We don't have enough yarn for this.
Okay.
Yes. Xander is the youngest brother. He's just older than me.
That is the one that you met recently, right?
Oh, yes.
I
And
remember you came back.
In Archdom.
yes. And then there's me. And when I was born, my mother died when I was born, and so my father, Sir, he blamed me for my mother's death. It's rather unfortunate, because I really don't think it was my fault, but I'm not entirely certain.
No, I can tell you right now, it was not your fault.
That's good to know.
Were you there?
This does
No.
bring into context when she introduced herself before. She did say that she killed her mother.
I know.
For you guys, okay, just
I
making
know,
sure that.
but I
and
have
for
now-
the people at home,
I have now
that-
put
yeah.
this together and been like,
that is also for the people at home
That
who
is-
may not
that is
remember
a-
this
that is a-
original conversation.
that is an abusive thing that your father has told you. That it's your fault that your mother's died.
Oh. Well, I have started to latch on to the idea that maybe he wasn't the best father. So he raised us
Maybe.
as he would any of the troops under him that he was raising or commanding in the Arcanum. We woke up every morning and did training. From the time I was just a young child, I was following this routine, and basically my brothers and I were all told that we would follow the life of the Arcanum and have a career there. But of course, then I started to develop some abilities that my father latched onto a bit, the things I can do with my mind. And I've tried to hide most of them from him.
Do you know if your mother had these abilities as well?
I know nothing about my mother. He never speaks of her. I've been banned, essentially, from seeing any of her family. I think she was, too, to be honest with you. He kind of...
Was she one of the 8 rings? They were banished.
I have no idea. I know, like I said, I know nothing about her. Although this, and she pulls out her weapon, that's Thorn. This was hers. I found it in her things. It's a rather wonderful weapon. And it's the one that she can summon like a whip or a rapier or like a dagger. It can do all these things. It was hers, and I guess I stole it.
May I?
Of course.
I want to take a look at it and see if there are any distinguishing marks or anything on it, like one of the 8 rings
Hasmonday?
tribe marks on it, like that's been carved into it somewhere, like on the hilt or something like that, or even do like I'll even
Thorn Piercer.
I'll even spend some time while you're explaining and identify and see if there's anything
Victor's-
special about it that
Going to suppress his abhorration for this exchange, this unceremonious exchange of weaponry.
I'm so sorry.
All right, I have a question for Torrey then.
Here, Victor, just to make it fair, I'll take it off my hand and that's my weapon.
Do I have? You can't do that anymore.
I can take the gauntlet off.
Yeah.
though.
Do I have carte blanche as far as your mother's backstory goes, or do you have
100%.
something in mind for it?
Carte blanche.
Alrighty. So go ahead and give
Your
me
mom's carte blanchette?
Yep. Played by
She's
Kate Blanchett. Yep. Go ahead and give me an investigate roll as you're identifying this. The identifying will basically tell you all the properties of the Thorn Piercer.
Oh my gosh. You know what? That's gonna be 13.
13.
If you need, I think we have
Is
advantage.
that good enough?
Or
For what?
inspiration. I want to say last time we got inspiration, didn't we?
Oh yeah,
You did, yeah.
I'll use my inspiration. See
Okay.
if I can get better.
If you need it.
That is better. Can I also use the 2 that
Yes.
I rolled with that?
Yep.
Okay. And that is a 18 then.
18. Yeah, so you're going through this. Was there any more explanation that you wanted to give about your childhood, or move on to the next part?
Oh,
Because
well,
while you're talking
yes.
about that,
Yeah,
while
because
he's
I'm
looking
going to do
through
it as a ritual cast, so I'm not
It
wasting.
takes like 10 minutes.
Yeah, take 10 minutes, but
So, you see, he decided that he wanted to use me as a weapon, I suppose. And then when the beacon
No.
fell,
not just you, or you and your brothers, or
well, my brothers, they follow everything my father says, except for maybe Visander, but he still follows what my father says because he's afraid of him. And, well, I guess I'm not anymore. But when you all invaded the beacon, I saw my chance to run away.
liberated.
Yes, of course. That's what I meant, obviously.
Liberated.
When you liberated the beacon.
lot of actual criminals in there, but go ahead, yeah.
Yes, you did let out a lot of the baddies, but that's okay. Anyhow, I saw this shadowy figure, and I followed it, and it led me out of the beacon, and that's when I fell in the river, and then I came out. And I think I felt very different, but it allowed me to get away from my father. And so, all that to say, all I want is revenge on him. I hate how he's treated me and my brothers, even though they are horrible as well. It's very clear that they were raised to be that way. They were nurtured to become terrible, horrible men.
Now, I have known plenty of bad people in my time. Is that really enough to warrant his death?
Well, yes. I think it is. I suppose I'll let you decide for yourself. But Xander told me he has...
That is not to minimize your experience.
No, of
with
course
him.
not.
You very much had a terrible experience. I'm just, you know how I am with killing people. I'm very, very adverse to it if possible.
Yes, that's true. Although we do know you have killed one person.
I've killed more than one. Yes.
So Xander, he told me that my father, since the downfall of the Arcanum, has created his own little group called the Brotherhood of Neve, or the Neve Brotherhood, one of the two, I can't remember.
Technically, I think we originally said it was the Neve Brotherhood, but
Yes.
it can be either.
Called naive.
Like,
The naive brotherhood, yes.
That's what you were.
Yes, and did you know something interesting? Neve means a clenched hand or fist. Now, what do you think of that?
The angsty brotherhood.
I think they're planning something maniacal and terrible.
I agree. With this shadowy figure you mentioned, do you remember anything about what he looked like, or they looked like? If I said the name Zolvrik, would it mean anything to you?
I don't know its name at all.
Okay.
Would she remember anything?
you remember the conversation that you had with it?
Yeah.
And you remember...
Did it sound like a lich?
No, it did not. Well, I mean, you
it sounds like it.
you remember what
Shadowy
it did
figure.
that night to help you out.
Yeah.
That kind of haunts your dreams a little bit.
Okay.
But it never said its name, and it never gave you anything other than its power to help you escape, to free yourself.
Yes, I know nothing about it, really. Just that it gave me some power.
Just want to make sure. Was his name Ezra?
I don't
Yes.
think so.
Or Nezra.
Or Nezra? Or...
Go through like
Gazra. That's one.
Yep. Don't forget that. That's right.
So, you see, that is why I've been trying to build an army. I talk about it literally all the time.
Total sense. I agree.
Almost as much as I talk about buttresses.
Exactly.
I mean, I thought it was a little
By
bit
the way,
metaphorical.
good job. Only mentioning it just once
I've
today.
been working on it.
I'm proud of you.
We're making every fiber of his being inside the seat of the dragon. He's You opened the window to look out at buttresses, and that's where the seagulls came from.
Oh, no.
And then she yelled at me, close the window.
Yeah,
Sorry.
sorry.
I was just
So truly, I fear for the well-being of all of Aneria. Who knows what Sir will do? That's why I must build this army to defeat him.
Well, Thalamin brought with him basically a threat about him.
About Sir.
About how the Brotherhood is out to do something bad in an area. I'm not sure what. He wouldn't say, or couldn't say.
See, you have it from two people now.
But he very much warned us against being companions with you.
Whoa.
However, I told him that you are one of the Watch, and if the Brotherhood came, we would deal with them.
Well, I'll tell you what. I did not sign any contracts, not that it would have done anything. We were told that your contracts are literally pieces of poop.
Now in Italian.
I believe it's pronounced poopas.
Poopes. I'm the poopy deck.
The poop deck.
From my
Le
contract.
poo.
And so, really, I could leave any time if you wanted me to. There's nothing tying me here. There's nothing tying you to me. If you don't feel safe,
I see no reason to cast you out. I mean, the Wayward Watch, before we were the Watch, found me. I was cast out from my family. I had no one. Wandered and did a lot of bounty work as best as a blind guy could.
it must have
And-
been very hard.
Yes, but I found there was kind of a found family here, and there is no reason you need to fear for us to abandon you
And I
in
would
your
hope,
time of need.
and I would hope that we could change your mind about there being nothing to tie you to us. I would hope that being friends could be enough.
I was actually trying to learn how to do scrapbooking. When you gave it to us today, I felt a little guilty I did not have one in return.
Oh, it's quite all right.
I've been working on it, actually.
And he like pulls out, and it's like it's horrible.
It's like cut up contracts.
Contracts, yeah.
You have like paper mache.
Like paper mache, like
You know how like
contracts.
Oh my gosh, it looks like-
when
yeah.
a killer cuts all the letters out of magazines.
It's just Fred has grained a bunch of different
Fred is
creepy
great, yeah.
letters.
I made this for you.
Thank you. No one's ever made anything for me before.
Be careful, the glue's not dry. I was doing it while I was up in the crow's nest.
I will treasure it always.
And the glue is just like sap, like tree sap or something that's not glue.
You're like, why am I sticking? Whatever, this works.
Fred genuinely loves it. She doesn't have any friends. Well, you see, I think I could get a dragon. Wouldn't that be fabulous? Or wyverns, wyverns,
Perhaps.
hooverns.
But even if you
Wyverns.
even if you are unable to get a dragon or wyverns or whatever, you will have us. We are part of your army.
It's true.
But we're down a man. Sorry to bring it up, but Aramis is dead.
That's fair.
Yes, he is.
That doesn't rule out necromancy.
Yeah, you burned the body.
Romance.
Sorry. You burned the body in dragon's fire last night, so
Yeah, with this, remember?
yeah.
You know, maybe I could go find the dragon, get bit by them, and become
That's the
a
lamp.
were-dragon.
A were-dragon, is that a thing?
I don't know. It should be, though, right?
Sounds amazing.
We're getting off topic here.
Oh yes, sorry, that happens quite a bit.
But I did tell,
It's almost
again, I
as if
told
there's
Thalamin
nobody steering this ship.
that his warning doesn't hold much value to us. So when the time comes, and I assume it will come, we will deal with Sir and the Neve Brotherhood.
Do you think he's a snitch?
Thalamin?
Do you want me to follow him?
No.
Perhaps something happens to him.
I will.
He's
I will.
sleeping.
No. He seems to be a misguided person. His whole Davros is
definitely-
great. I love the sun. Oh, burn me, oh sun god. You know,
A sunburn is the greatest blessing
Yeah,
that you can get
exactly.
from a sun god. Let's be fair.
He's blessed me with his red hue.
Look, I'm peeling my sin away.
I'm cleansed. I'm free.
So your identify is up and your
Yeah.
investigation check is up. And you've been over every inch. You kind of know like all the little intricacies of this, but it never really made any sense. You just thought your mother enjoyed, throwing some
Macrame.
random symbols at things, There is one towards the bottom of the hilt of this thorn piercer blade, which is basically a rose until you summon the natural weapon from it. And it is a symbol that tickles your brain. And it takes you a moment to realize where you've seen it before, but you've seen it in the
Oh,
wasteland.
the squishy is tingling.
Yeah.
This
You
is a
saw
new
it-
feeling.
You saw it in the wasteland that used to be the Fey realm. You saw it in that hovel where you met the bleach the bleach fairy.
Fairies.
There we go. There was tiled depictions of that kind of showed the different courts when they were all in harmony. And this symbol matches the symbol of the man that was shining like the sun during that, or in that depiction. Like it had him and his wife that was like cloaked in night, and then their 4 children that represented the seasons, and they each had their own individual symbols. And this is his.
This symbol right here.
Cute, right?
Probably of like a rising sun.
I feel like it's a
This
little
is-
on the nose, maybe Bella.
Victor, does this look familiar to you? Do you remember when we were in the Fey realm?
He was
Oh,
on trial.
right. You were on trial.
I pulled
I was
my
there.
You were there.
I pulled my
Do you remember
blindfold down.
what was it like? It was like a mausoleum or something, right?
It was
Or-
just like a home.
Never seen it
Do you
before.
remember the home with all the tiles, all the different pictures
yes.
in them?
Oh yes, before I got my crown.
Yes. This
Yeah.
was, and
I'm
I'll
starting to get
explain
the FOMO right now.
that
I'm sorry.
this is the Shining Man one.
The Shining Man. Interesting. So, how could she have acquired this?
I'm not sure. Perhaps your mom was part Fey or had a connection to the Fey realm of some sort.
Was
This-
there? Do we know the name of?
So, not really, but I'm going to go ahead and say that you can extrapolate from the fact that there's the summer, the winter, the spring, and the fall court, and the Baba Yaga's court is called the Court of Night. I think we might be able to extrapolate what the other court may have been
The
called.
Court of Day.
the court of the sun, or the Court of Morning, we'll call it. How about that? That sounds like a good name. The Court of the Morning. Yep. When you
Court of the Writing
spoke
Center.
with the Claw about, because Bolt's favor was to see what happened to the Fey realm, she said that all of the Fey realm used to live in harmony, and the 4 courts were basically handled everything underneath the courts, the Court of the Morning and the Court of Night, as sort of like a shared kingdom above them all, right? And the king and queen of those courts were fairly in love, and then something happened within like their capital that caused all of the Fey magic to basically start dissipating and creating the wasteland. And the other courts fled to their own little corners and the material plane and created their courts in exile, basically, to continue to watch over nature from the material realm. And this was before the shattering even happened.
Yeah.
The courts have been outside in Aneria's material plane for thousands of years, even more than that. I haven't worked out the timeline yet.
That's okay.
But yeah,
Fair enough.
Eons ago.
eons ago.
Many moons.
So if it was something that your mother got from the Court of the Morning. It probably wasn't. She belonged to the Court of the Morning.
Yeah.
It may have been a descendant sort of situation.
But at least it's a lead. Perhaps when we get back to Aneria, we can try to find out more about your mother.
I would love to know more.
Now I'm just imagining Disney's Descendants.
Yes.
Yeah, we love that show in my house.
Penny loved
They sing that song, they sing like It's Good to Be Bad.
Yes.
But there's another one that I'm trying to think.
Chillin' Like a Villain.
Yeah.
Chillin'
like feeling.
Musicals of the children's song.
Yes. Well, again, and I don't do this often. This is the second time today that I'm saying this, but I do apologize.
I'm sorry.
Congratulations. I'm sure that was very hard for you. You're making good progress.
I don't want to make progress, but yes, I that thing for not telling you this beforehand, and I must have had that conversation in my head.
There's no problem. Not a problem at all. I have conversations with my own head all the time.
Do you? Bolt, you can now have a conversation with your own head.
This is true.
Do you have an internal monologue now?
Alas, poor Yorick.
I've always
Pranked.
had one.
By the way, how are you feeling in the tummy region?
I feel fine.
I've been watching him all day. Nothing's happened. It's your turn to take a shift.
Constantly snacking the whole time. Where's it all going? There's some portal in the astral plane that's just got random food drifting out of it.
Yeah, shooting food. It's just there.
Wow.
Ooh, it's actually... You got, what's it called? The Bag of Devouring has a stomach. It's just going to Hadar in some other realm.
By the way, I've decided when I voluntarily give up my life, because I cannot die by another's hand, I would like to be mummified in your bag of holding.
You got it.
Thank you.
Just temporarily or permanently or what?
And then dipped in gold and put on display for people to worship.
We can work on that.
We have to figure out what
We'll have to
title is
find
before
worshippers.
Hey!
Well, you may not have told us before, but I appreciate you telling us now.
Of course. Blah, 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 blah. Feelings. I can't do this. Should we be on our way then?
I believe so, unless anyone has any other business in town.
By the way, I had to make some modifications to this new cloak I bought, but what do you think? She puts it on and pulls the hood over, and she put holes for all of the ice dogs to carry on.
So it definitely doesn't happen right away. Like it goes over and they all have to
Like
like
a
wriggle
wiggle, and
themselves
sometimes
out.
they're like
Yeah.
two come up and one, and they shift.
They have to fight a little bit.
Do you like it?
I see a
Like how
possible
the idea-
complication if someone were to grab it and try to pull it down. It might hurt those.
Or
Or
if
you,
you're
or-
riding on something that's going really fast, it will keep it from coming off. There's a pro and a con.
For every con, I can think of a pro. Is that what you're saying?
For every high, there is a low. For
Every
every
two,
fast,
there
there
is
is
a
an
a
epic
pro.
deck. This, by the way, this is
That's the way the world
What?
goes.
the idea was to be discreet. That's for you. The idea was to be
Well,
discreet,
goes
and
around.
you put holes so that your eye stalks could come through.
Yes.
So yes, you definitely get an epic die for that because it is wonderful. Okay, on our way.
Yeah, we've got the writ, so I can. Is there a way to contact that one captain or wyvern guy to
Oh, the
let
wing
them
commander?
know, like, hey, we're gonna take off, but we've got permission.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Certain
you can.
flag we can fly. It's
Yeah,
like
there's
having
there's like
license
there's probably like a wyvern's guard
Yeah.
post that you
Okay.
can go to.
Or we can just start flying, and then when they try to
Listen,
board, we can just be like,
I've heard that this is the flag we should be flying so that they don't think it's bad.
And I've got a Jolly Roger.
Yes. I love it.
Sure.
Perfect.
Except for it's not your typical Jolly Roger. It's like one
Put the
piece
Jolly Roger in the...
Yeah, put a Jolly Roger.
It's a one-piece type Jolly Roger for the Wayward Watch. And it's very hand-done, not that great.
You're getting very crafty. Did you make that?
I did.
First
John
the
actually
scrapbook, now
helped me.
this.
John was he helped me pick out the colors.
I see the thread is made out of
His hair.
broom bristles.
Yes.
That's the only way to do it.
He's like got this patch of hair that's just like gone.
Actually,
You like snipped a chunk of it off.
when you next go downstairs, speaking of John, and you go into your room, he's just finishing up, and you watch as he basically takes his broom and swirls it around and basically picks up the glitter in the air and like carries it out the nearby port window and like full on just like sweeps it out there very masterfully into the bay. Yeah.
He's like Airbender.
Oh, hey, Fred.
You have a gift.
Sweeping. Yeah. It's
Yes.
my passion. It's what it was made for. Do you think brooms do the thing that other people do that we were talking about earlier?
In private?
No, I meant like just in general. Like, was I made because two brooms fell in love? Do I have a mom and a dad?
I think Victor is your dad.
Victor did it with a broom.
I mean, you're here because of him. Isn't that right?
I mean, yes,
You practiced, but it was a mop, actually.
Actually, don't know.
Yeah,
We should find out.
Baba Yaga.
DNA test.
That's a good idea. Yeah, wait, what's that?
You know, we'll go on Jerry Springer,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll be like, he's my daddy.
Is that like a bunny of some kind?
Kind of. Not
It's a rabbit folk monk.
Yeah.
Say, he's my daddy, and he'll say, no, you're not.
And he'll say, no, I'm not. And then they'll say, give us the results of the DNA test. And everyone will be so shocked.
And then we'll
I have a
fight
question.
to death.
Yes.
What is DNA? And we're going to pull away from that conversation because this is basically Fred giving a bunch of fourth wall breaking information to the only person who will absolutely listen to it straight faced.
It's pronounced Donna.
It's pronounced Dana. Yeah. And I'm guessing that you're going to take off?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Callie gives you kind of a salute as you're passing by.
I'll before we leave, I'll send her a message about Thalamin, basically saying like, keep an eye on this guy. Here's what he kind of threatened the Wayward Watch and one of our members. Kind of pseudo threatened.
Yeah.
I'll say like
Pseudo-threatened.
like not a full on threat, but you know he had some pretty negative things to say.
If
and-
Kelly, not to put her to work, could find anything on the Neve Brotherhood. Like,
Yeah.
if there's
Okay,
any
I'll ask her.
movement happening.
Yeah, if Fred says anything about that, I'll relay that and ask if she can do some investigating.
Yeah.
And see if she
I mean,
can
you don't
find
even
out.
have to send her a message. You can go chat with her.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
right before we go.
Mm-hmm. And she'll basically be like, oh yeah, he's been preaching the entire time he's been on the ship, you know, trying to get people to sign up. Anybody
How have
who's
you
associated.
resisted throwing him overboard?
Actually, I wanted to shoot him out of the ballista at the front, so. But
It seems like a waste of good ballista string.
yeah, I'm just trying to pour myself into my work. Anyway, he's one of the 3 different factions that have kind of survived the
The
Arkonis.
Brotherhood.
Yeah, the Neve Brotherhood, the Children of Davros, and then the Arcanum itself kind of has a still kind of a presence, but it's not the Arcanum. It's more of like a relief, disaster relief sort of organization now, headed up by the what was her name? She is from the Tower of Unity.
She's the one that
Oh,
survived. and we
the
wrote a letter
elephant.
for her.
Yeah,
Right?
Yep.
Or the Loxodon.
Elephant folk, non-denominational elephant folk. Yeah, I'm trying to remember her name. Tower of
Pavis. No, hold on.
She had the same name as Ezra's mother, actually. I just can't remember what it is.
Voice of the Wild,
Because I accidentally gave him the same name.
Tower of Scadia. Before that. Mistress Mansion. Nope.
I just typed in the word Loxodon, I should be able to.
Battle Royale. Gebedeth.
Giveneth.
Beacon at the Beacon after 3 days. Davros, Hanabrasis, Tower of Order, Worshipper of Davros.
Galena Spokewind.
Oh, it's too close.
Yep.
Lurian, Son of the Dusk.
Yeah, Galena
Tobin.
Spokewinter's. She was the triumvirate member of the Tower of Duty, and she's kind of taken over as like a relief effort and kind of steered them more in that direction.
Well, we have some business to take care of here in Arkonis.
I figured as much.
I have a feeling things might turn out bad in an area before they get better.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about that as well. We're opening up. I mean, Aneria basically opened itself up to a whole new mess of trouble, and unfortunately, the Arcanum.
There seems to be some vice for power. So
I'll keep an eye on it. I know all three of the factions have already come to me asking me to join them because, of course, they did. I was literally the lowest on the totem pole there, but for some reason, they all want me now.
well, that kind of brings up something. I would like to extend a official membership invitation to the Wayward Watch, if you are interested.
Just me or my ship and crew?
Your ship, your crew, those that you've worked with that you can trust.
She sits there a moment, and then this huge grin spreads across her face, and she goes, "It would definitely get all of the Arcanum off of my back to know that I'm officially associated with the Wayward Watch."
It would also allow you access to the tower, which is a pretty safe place.
Yeah. I'd be happy to accept.
You hear... as I hit the ground.
That literally scared me.
Because it was right above Fred's room.
And then you had some, like, 10 or 12 just leaflets. Here you go!
I'll pass them out. Victor, you can head back to the ship.
Thank you. Knock the wind out of me this time.
You fell from your broom.
I will let...
Was he watching the entire time as we were talking?
You know, I don't know. He's actually quite stealthy when he wants to be.
Apparently, yeah.
Just not when we actually need me.
I will let Leah know, and she will draw up any paperwork or needed.
Yeah.
But take care of yourself and keep an eye out for the other members.
Of course. You too, Bolt. I would rather not come save your life again. Or bring you back to life again.
Even though I'm very squishy now. Thank you.
What are you talking about, squishy? And she goes and she, like, smacks the side of your head. And, again, you're kind of a non-Newtonian fluid, is that kind of the base, so it, like, hardens. She goes,
Oh.
See?
It's like doing a belly flop on a waterbed.
Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah.
How
But
about
I
that?
will get down on her level, and I will give her a huge hug.
And
Be
she'll hug you right back.
Thank you so much. I also hope to not have to have you do this again.
Yeah. When I heard the news, I was...
This is the second time, and I am not looking forward to ever again.
Yeah, the third time is going to cost you, you know.
Well, I would expect nothing less. Have a safe trip. Don't let Thalamin bug you too much.
Of course not.
If there's a slight accident and the ship rolls a little too far to port, and he happens to be right there by the ring, you know what I mean. Have a nice trip.
Yes, very nice trip. I'll actually probably be spending most of my time speaking with Morbid. He seems like an interesting fellow.
Ah. Yes, give him my regards.
Will do. He seemed rather sad to come aboard, actually, even though he wanted to.
Well, he made quite a few friends. Apparently.
I'll let you know if anything comes up.
Well, you know how to reach me.
Yep. And you part ways.
Yep.
And
Hold on. Bolt. I forgot. Can you cast mending on this?
Sure. What is it?
It's the messed up scrapbook.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Give this to him.
I'll cast mending.
Really? Okay, yeah, sure. I'll give it to Morbid. That's
Thank
fine.
you. That's all.
What is it, like It's not dangerous, is it?
No, he'll know what it is.
Okay, because he said something about like trying to kidnap him in the middle of the night with you guys, or something with goat's milk.
It was just a little hazing. I mean,
Wasn't he a passenger aboard your ship?
He was.
details.
Okay.
Anyway, we've got to go.
Yeah.
Bye.
Good luck.
And you as well.
So your ship takes off, heading northeast.
Yep.
The mnemonic response that has been basically spent the day packing up on
It's directly south.
Arcosian. Yeah, basically they head out directly south with a fresh cargo of exotic wares from beyond the veil, kind of thing.
So many rockhead jockers.
Yep. Silk actually is a really big export from Aldrios as well. Very good.
There's a giant spider dragon with four giant spider legs and wings and
four legs, four wings. That's
and it,
yeah.
yeah.
the normal amount of legs.
has a long fat tail with spinnerets on the end that creates silk
Their
and
name
stuff.
is Helob. Shelob. Helob.
Interesting.
Helob the dragon.
I don't know why, but you said that. My mind said that they're a himbo.
himbo?
Yeah.
He loved the himbo.
He loved the himbo.
It's just a drider with wings.
Yes. And I think with that, as the party starts making their way
sail off into the
towards,
sunset.
Yep, Shahar, I believe. So, is the plan to stop at Shahar Pital on the way, because it's technically on the way to Shahar Khanzi?
We're gonna pass. I say we pass over it, and if there's anything that like catches our eye, then we can like divert. But I think we should try to make best time to Shahar Khanzi.
Okay. So with that, we'll go ahead and end tonight's session. Everybody well on their way. And I'll say thank you, everybody, so much for joining us. Hopefully you enjoyed tonight's discussions, which included things that probably don't get often shared, because you'd think that your party or your characters would know about that kind of stuff by now, but that's okay. Some people are just grown, and they just grow up sheltered, and that's completely fine. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Victor was homeschooled.
Hmm?
Victor was homeschooled.
Victor,
If you don't know what knife dancing
So was
is,
Fred.
yes, he was.
ask your mom.
So
and
was
dad.
Red.
Yeah, both of these two actually definitely were homeschooled for sure. Yeah.
Mhm. Well, I wasn't really at home, but I got schooled in the
Yeah.
streets.
Well, I mean, you grew up. You weren't. It wasn't like you were exiled from 10, were you?
It was pretty young.
It was pretty
like
young, actually.
13, 14,
yeah, because it was your trial. Yeah.
I thought it was
Anyway.
like in your 20s.
And don't forget to join us
pretty
on
young.
Fridays. Become a member of our Patreon if you want to see
Yeah.
these episodes 2 episodes earlier, or 2 episodes.
And get
2
access to the
days
private
earlier.
Discord.
Yeah.
Chat with us.
And we will see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Next week.
This is break week.
Oh.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Well.